Morning, Trent.
How about that Iowa coach? Caitlin's gone. I think, you know what? If there's a time to get out of here, now would be it.
You know what? How about I turn it over to my trusted assistant? I've been doing this a long time.
Right. I think today's the day.
Morning, by the way.
Morning.
So what did you do yesterday to celebrate Dennis's birthday? Did you sing happy birthday to the worm at some point?
Did you eat a worm? Did you have tequila?
I posted something on my story about it. Snapchat.
There you go.
I don't know. He's my guy.
Now,
like
I
my
know.
my friends all know he's my guy too. So it's not like I'm.
What's weird is that you never saw him play.
Right. Never.
That's what's weird. He's your guy, and you never saw him.
They're built the same.
I love him. He is just.
So is it Wedding Dress Wednesday? No.
I wouldn't look good in a wedding dress.
I don't know. You're skinny enough for him.
Not enough meat on the bone.
Need some hips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know about your ass. I haven't checked it out, but
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the deeper you go in the playoffs, the less home everything means. It's just. I told you guys the Rangers could lose this series.
I know.
I mean, the irony is Lavalette was down 3-0 to the Bruins in 2010 and was in overtime in Game 4. So he was a goal away from elimination, and they ended up going all the way to the finals. Well, the Rangers were a goal away from winning this series. It was 3-3 late third in Game 4. And now here we go. Well, Coffenbaugh, it depends on who he wants to suspend. I mean, the NHL actually said with a straight face that Bennett's sucker punch of Marchand was a hockey play. Do you think if it was anyone but Marchand, the NHL would
He's suspended?
Yeah, but see, that's BS.
Yeah, I understand.
You can't
I understand
that way. And by the way, the 29 teams or 31 teams who complain about them would all take them. Oh, I know they have to win 2 more, Ambient. Trust me. I go back to the mid-70s with the Rangers. I've seen just about everything except 3-0. Either way. I've seen up 3-1, down 3-1, up 2-0, down 2-0.
Well, I thought that, I mean, for McDonough, because he just reads stats the whole game, but he did have one that Brenda Moore, with the 6-year average of points for Carolina.
Here we go.
No team's never gotten.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. What a great sports day and night it was yesterday. If you were back to work and you missed it, well, that's why we're here. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
Tired, but wow, what a great night last night. Oklahoma City coming back late in a game that I didn't think they had any business winning. The Stars looked like
stars.
Yeah, they did.
And so much for
that series is played to me at a faster pace than any other series.
I know you've said
Colorado and Dallas, it seems, you know how, David, when you watch and I'll give the crew you work for a lot of credit. To me, when you watch an SEC and now a Big Ten game on CBS, it seems that it's shot differently. It seems that it's closer. The pitchers look a little crisper. They look a little better. When I watch Dallas and Colorado, I feel as if I'm watching that game because it seems to be a little crisper, a little faster. And I don't think it's the way the game's being shot by the cameraman. I think the speed is just faster in that series than any other series that's being played in the NHL right now.
And I will say there's not as much hitting in that series as there was, say, when the Stars played Vegas. Also, I don't think there's as much hitting in that series as there will be when the winner of that series makes it to the finals and plays whoever comes out of the East. Unless it's the Rangers, because the Rangers don't do a ton of hitting. Carolina hits, Florida really hits. All right, so it will be curious if somebody can get them in a series and hit them. The one team that did took them to 7. But, yeah, there's a lot of skill. I mean, when the kid who scored 2 last night turns 21 today.
And he might be the 4th best player on the ice, 3rd. I mean,
right.
You got the defenseman in Colorado. You got McKinnon in Colorado for sure.
At no better than 3rd. Right.
No better.
No better than 3rd.
And he is
Correct.
having a playoff to remember. I mean, legendary stuff.
Right.
Your Rangers took one on the chin, but it extends that series. For those of us that like hockey, it's more hockey. If you don't have a dog in the fight, it's more hockey. And even the Celtics and Cavs last night was an entertaining game with no Donovan Mitchell.
No Donovan Mitchell, but the Cavs played hard and played well, but they're down 3-1, and Boston will win away from where it is we all thought they were going to get, and 5 wins away from where we all expect them to get. And really, this was the icing on a very eventful sports day yesterday. Man, did they throw money around yesterday in the NFL. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh, did they throw money around yesterday in the NFL? Jared Goff getting 53 a year. Yeah, you want to know what the markets. And by the way, have the Lions and Tampa Bay Bucks not shown they got plenty of money? They got plenty of money. I mean, what have the Lions spent so far this offseason? Like just under $500 million?
Yeah, between
St. Brown, the wide receiver, Penei Sewell, and Goff.
Right.
Yeah, they've got the money, folks. The TV contract. We talk money a lot on this show, maybe too much for some of you. There's a reason why. And we've been saying for 2 years, these quarterbacks' contracts are not going to be a problem. Why? Because the network TV deal that runs through 2033 is now fully kicking in. We had that 2-year adjustment with the pandemic where the cap actually went down. And then when it went back up, it basically was status quo over a 3-season period of time. We're past that now. Just keep adding 25, 30 million a year to the cap. Let's go. So, we're going to be at a $300 million cap by the end of next season. By the end of this decade, the cap's going to be $400 million. Easy. And by the way, and we'll just go off on a tangent right here, because this is really the lead story in sports yesterday. Anybody getting the specifics of the new NBA contract? If this is what the NBA is getting, what in the world is the NFL going to get in about 6, 7, 8 years when they can open up their TV deal? Mark, have you seen the numbers the NBA is getting?
Yes.
And to Adam Silver's credit, he said he was.
Much as you've bashed Adam Silver, his main job is to make money for the owners, and boy, did he ever make money for the owners.
And he said 2 years ago, this is the money we're looking for. Well, he's gotten it. The NBA is about to get just under $7 billion a year in their national TV deals. That doesn't include whatever the teams are getting to air the games locally. $7 billion. And when they're done with that, Then they'll add 2 more teams because the owners aren't making enough money. Yeah. And by the way, enjoy Shaq and Chuck because that show's going away after next year. Turner's out. They're done. Quick sidebar. You're NBC. How many of the Turner people are you hiring? Play-by-play included. I mean,
As
this is
many
Harlan.
as I can.
This is Harlan. This is Ian Eagle.
No, I mean, as
Okay.
many as I can because TNT does basketball well.
Yeah. Yes, they do. How many of the announcers are you hiring between pregame and play-by-play and color commentary? Like, I love Stan Van Gundy. He doesn't give a damn. He just blurts it out. He says it, and the league hates him, and he doesn't care. I mean, he knows that the Adam Silver got his brother fired after listening to him for 15 years, complain about everything. And Stan knows it's going to happen to him too. And maybe Stan knows he's only got next year at Turner, and then NBC ain't going to pick him up, and Amazon not going to pick him up. But
Boy,
how
you think
many
you
of
can
those
use
guys?
on Amazon, don't you think?
Hmm?
If Amazon wanted to try to be that broadcast, wouldn't Van Gundy be their guy?
Yeah. Let's say whatever the heck you want. Honestly, I don't curse. Otherwise, just go nuts. All right. Honestly, you want to talk Tim Donaghy conspiracy theories? Just go crazy. Don't care. Right. Checks cash is the same. Just so you know, Amazon's going to pay the NBA the same amount of money that Disney pays the NFL to broadcast the National Football League. And Comcast is going to give more per year to the NBA than what Fox, CBS, and NBC write checks to the NFL for. That's the value of sports. And that's also the value that these networks see in the younger NBA demo. And that's a fact. Beginning with the 2026 season, the NBA is going to generate $6.9 billion. $6.9 billion a year from their TV deal. $6.9 billion. Mark, do you know how much the Major League Baseball teams are getting for the next handful of years with their network TV deal?
Give it to me.
Just under $2 billion. Now, that's national, and obviously every team's got their own local contract, although we know what's happened to about a dozen of those deals with the demise of the regional sports network. Yeah. So the NFL right now, the teams are getting about $14 billion when you add up all the little side deals. You know, Netflix paying for Christmas and NBC throwing in extra money for a standalone game here and the Brazil game on Peacock and right around $14 billion, a little under it. So going forward, TV money nationally, NFL 14, NBA half of that. Major League Baseball, yeah, about 12 to 13% of what the NFL's getting. And then you got hockey, which is getting $700 million annually from their network TV deal. $700 million. 400 from ESPN and 300 from Turner. And they got 4 more years to go at that rate. Yeah, that's the money of sports. That was the big story yesterday in the sports world. The games were awesome. That's what we'll end up talking about. That was the biggest story in the sports world yesterday. Follow the money.
Wow, I don't even know if I want to talk after that. That was so good, so well done.
Just the numbers are staggering. What is the
That was a
NFL?
one-act play right there, David. That was so well done.
What is the NFL if the NBA, and by the way, it's an 11-year deal that the NBA is going to sign after next season. So that's going to take you into the middle of the 2030s. The NFL deal is going to be up, I believe, 2033. So the NBA just got a 250% raise annually in their rights fee. Mark, if that's what the NBA is getting, What is the NFL going to ask for in 6, 7, 8, however many years?
Mars.
Seriously.
I mean, what can't they ask? What can't they ask for?
And is this the last, with that NBA contract, in which, by the way, the three partners are NBC, Comcast, ABC, Disney, and Amazon. So you're going to have games on Plus, Peacock, and Prime. A lot of streaming there. You're going to have conference finals and finals on networks still. But Mark, is this the last NFL TV deal in which the games are on network television?
I mean, you're probably right. I don't see how, in order to get the revenue that they're going to want to get, giving the games away on the air for free anymore from a network standpoint, why would you buy that? I don't know if you'll be able to generate enough revenue to come close to breaking even without a streaming platform.
Well, exactly. And the streaming company, they're losing money too, but they can afford it. The networks are losing money right now in the NFL, but without it, they're no longer a network.
Well, that's the other thing that is coming to a head.
Yeah.
10 years from now, where will the network television be, if at all?
If the NFL decides to go streaming, the networks are going to go away because they don't have any programming that anybody wants to watch besides live sports. Miller and Moulton, top of the morning to you.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Carolina's playing their tails off. They're losing. Who do they get a goal from? The old guy. Stahl gets the big goal.
Yep. E.B. Hill. Cleaned the house last night. We're ready for Molly Maid this afternoon. All right, Kilo's dad. Let's just say the Cowboys pay those three guys. Who else should they be paying? Who else on the team deserves big money? Okay. I have to admit, I think Diggs is overrated. He gambles a lot. All right. Appreciate that, E.B. Hill. Ambient, we don't know if Hooker's never thrown a pass in the NFL. You really going to let Jared Goff walk out the door? I'm telling you, these teams can afford these contracts.
So will you watch Caitlin Clark tonight? Is that our question?
Yeah.
I have 3 answers. Yes, every second. I'll check it out. Not a second.
Right. Yeah. All in. Maybe. C. No, it's a WNBA. No, he did get paid. And even then, that'd be 5 guys. You could afford it. I mean, God, the cap's going to be $300 million. If Frederick and Diggs combined are making 30, if Parsons gets 25, you're at 55. Lamb gets 25, you're at 80. All right. Dak gets his 50, 55, you're at $1.35. Okay. You got 160 million for the other 40 guys. Yeah, Jarrett's too old to rebuild.
You don't want to I mean, they're not at a point you rebuild that football team.
I was going to say they have won 12 games each of the last 3
Right.
years. I mean,
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, nice show lined up. David Samson joins us at the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan, the top of the following hour. We'll go live to Louisville, Valhalla. Bob Harig, fine sports writer, covers golf for Sports Illustrated. He's got the Tiger Woods book that's out. Be a hell of a Father's Day gift, by the way. Just saying. Take care of our friend Bob. He's been good to the show over the years. He joins us in a couple hours. We going with the poll question that we came up with yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. Why waste any time trying to think of one when we've already got one?
All right. Remind me, what was it again?
Will you watch Caitlin Clark tonight? She's making her debut.
Oh, that's right.
WNBA. Woohoo!
Her college coach retired because I think she wanted to be able to go to the game, see it in person tonight. No,
I give you 3 choices. Will
All
you
right.
watch Caitlin Clark tonight? Yes, every second. I'll check it out. No, it's the WNBA.
There we go. It's what we asked while the phenomenon was going on in February, March, into early April. Will it continue when the jersey doesn't say Iowa, when it says Indiana, when the Hawkeyes are replaced by the Fever?
I got a fever.
Just going to say, I tried to give it a little Christopher Walken.
You did.
there.
And what I need
Yeah,
is
I
some
know.
Caitlin Clark.
Hey, what do we need?
Some Caitlin Clark.
I need more cowbell. Come on now. All right, you ready? Since more money. More money, more money, more
Oh, boy.
money, more money.
Oh boy.
Come on. Don't get me going in Living Color from 35 years ago. I love that show. I showed clips of In Living Color in my local sports highlights in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Needless to say, that got me called into the office.
No.
That was considered edgy.
Yes, David, it was.
But there was a story about somebody getting paid. And so I ran the clip, of the Wayans brothers going, more money, more money. All right, just see if people were paying attention. And
Nothing like throwing that in the local news.
Right. Very diverse audience too. 35 years ago, northeastern Pennsylvania. So, okay. So, of course, the highest paid quarterback's Patrick Mahomes, right? Hell no.
No.
No. It's all about when did you negotiate your contract? He negotiated his like 3-4 years ago. No. Honestly, average per year, APY, it's going to get changed. It is. I mean, obviously, when you find out where some of these quarterbacks are ranked, you know that the teams are probably going to have to tear these contracts up here in short order and say, okay, we're done with the quarterbacks. Okay, I got to put you back near the top of the list. So Patrick Mahomes this year, APV, APY, where do you think he ranks on the quarterback's depth chart?
7th.
T8.
All right.
With
I was in the
Kirk
ballpark.
Cousins. He's T8 with Kirk Cousins. All right. 45 per is T8. Josh Allen. Where do you think Josh Allen is? This year. Okay. The average per, and not the salary cap figure, just the average, he signed 5 for $250. That means his average is 50.
I thought he was a little more than Mahomes, but the way you're asking the question, he's going to be a little bit less. So I'm going to say T10.
Look at that, 10th. Good call. You're doing well. Buy a lottery ticket or something today. Yep. His average per right now is 43. So he's only making 8% more than Daniel Jones. Okay. You don't think that contract's going to get renegotiated here in short order? And if I'm Mahomes and Allen, no, just hold off. Let's wait for Dak to sign. Let's wait for Tua to sign. Let's get all the carts.
Trevor's sign a long-term deal as well.
Mark, you ever work in a cart barn?
I did.
Okay. And
First job I ever had.
Okay. And there's opening, obviously. You got to take them all out, get them ready, but then there's closing. There's getting them all in, getting them all on the charger. Okay. Don't you think that Mahomes and Allen, they're like, no. Still a couple groups still left on the course. No, just
take your time.
Right.
As a matter of fact, just take your time.
Yeah. Just wait to see. No, we can put this on. I want to pull into this stall right here and attach my cart to this charger right here. Okay. Who's number 1?
Burrow.
He is 55. Goff at present moves into the 2-hole at 53. Yep. Quarterback in the 3 holes never won a playoff game.
Oh,
That's
Justin
a hint.
Herbert. Huh?
There you go. Oh, yeah. You got a good night's sleep. All
Not
right?
really. I'm
No?
just David, the sports were so damn good last night.
They
I
were.
woke up before the alarm racing to get to the show.
So Lamar is 4 at 52, only a $500,000 per year less than Justin Herbert. And Jalen Hurts is 5 at 51. So that's the 50 club right now. Those are the quarterbacks making 50 or more. Burrow, Goff, Herbert, Jackson, and Hurts. For what it's worth, Kyler Murray is 6th at 46.1, and Deshaun is 7th at 46. So that's your top 10 highest paid quarterbacks. Okay. Dak's entering the final year of his contract. Tua is entering the final year of his contract. Am I missing anybody else?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence has 2 years left, though. They picked up his 5th year.
Okay, that's
option.
right.
So he's got 24 and 25, which, by the way, that's why if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I don't sign. And if I'm the Jags, I get him signed today. It's only going to go up. Quarterbacks and annual TV rights fees, all they do is go up. I'm Trevor Lawrence. Don't I bet on myself? Yeah, I could get hurt. There's no doubt. But in all honesty, if Trevor Lawrence had a bad year this year or got hurt this year, do you think he's going to make less than what they're offering right now?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
The only thing that, David, and you could answer this a little better than I could because you're there. How much would it help his Jacksonville Q rating by signing early? Would it matter to them? And does that matter, if you know what I mean?
I don't think so. Because as long as he's saying, listen, it's business. It just didn't work out right now. The organization's got a lot on their plate because also tonight's the city council thing when they unveiled the new stadium proposal. And so, no. As long as he just keeps, smiling like he always does and saying, listen, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be a Jaguar. We'll get this worked out. That's, no. Besides, Mark, they just want to win. Okay. They just want to go back to winning the AFC South and, being a legit Super Bowl contender. So we got Trevor Lawrence, we got Dak, we got Tua. Let me ask you this. If you're the Cowboys, who's worth more, Goff or Dak? Who's the better quarterback?
That's a great question. Last year, Jared Goff was.
Well, we can judge the career. I mean, they both came into the league the exact same year. They both came into the league in 2016. Goff was the number 1 pick. Dak was taken in the 4th round. They have both been in the league the exact same period of time. Who's been the better quarterback?
By success in the postseason, it's Jared Goff.
By play in the regular season, it's Dak.
It's Dak.
Right. Dak's been a better regular season quarterback. Dak's won 2 playoff games. Goff's been to 2 conference championship games. Dak's been to 0. So if Goff is making 53, is Dak worth more or less?
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Kilo's dad, it's 255 and change. It went up about 30. It's going to be 280 to 285 a year from now, and it'll be 320 2 years from now. Thank you, Brown Chicken. Trent, how you doing?
All right. A little tired.
Why is that?
Just not getting enough sleep. I mean, it's all my fault. I'm just
Is it the NBA playoffs?
a little bit of everything, yeah.
That was a tough watch last night, that second game.
Yeah.
That was a slog. No doubt, 2006 was their year. Yeah, EB Hill, we don't ask usually. You know, when people go with whatever name they go with on Twitch. We just
I wish
yeah.
you'd all use your real names. You want to know the truth. It's my whole thing of David reading them. I wish he said Clark in the Twitch chat room, Jim in the Twitch chat room. That's all. That's my thing.
Yeah, when I asked for that on the text line, Mark's like, "No, don't give me your real name and city because it bothers David. So just keep throwing in fake stuff." Because Mark
Thanks
doesn't.
for that, Paul.
Have to admit, Mark. I mean, how could the Twitch line, if we're snarky, how could the Twitch line not be snarky?
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes till the top of the hour when David Samson will join us for his weekly visit. Pat Kirwan, a little over an hour from now. A lot going on in the sports world yesterday. I may need the full time here. But first, our poll question, that Mark Miller, the David Moulton. I probably should retweet it, shouldn't I, and vote?
Sure. Why not?
Caitlin Clark, WNBA debuted tonight. You watching? 7:30 ESPN2. Yes.
I will check it out. I'm in the B category. I'll check it out.
It's all in. Check it out. No, not watching WNBA. I'll definitely check it out.
Early voting, no is leading. Yesterday's poll question on should the NFL have a draft lottery, 73% of you say they should not.
Okay. All right. Once again, NFL doing its own thing. So, but I'm checking out Caitlin Clark tonight. I am. And if she's playing well early, then, I'm probably not changing the channel. So there. 21 minutes before the hour. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Well, we'll start with the NFL. Story broke during our show yesterday. The season opener is going to be a rematch of the AFC Championship game. Ravens at Chiefs. That's pretty good. And then Packers, Eagles, Friday night on Peacock from Brazil. Also, Tom Brady's first real broadcast. None of this preseason stuff. First one that counts, if you know what I mean. Cowboys at Browns. 4:25 window. CBS doesn't have anything opposite it either. It's going to get a monster rating. The Cowboys with the window to themselves. Brady announcing. It'll get like Lions Thanksgiving Day numbers is my prediction, Mark. It'll be 30 plus million. I think they'll get. Normally they get around 24, 25 for the 425 slot for Fox. A little bit higher, maybe if it's maybe the Cowboys would get 27 and what have you. I think this is going to be in the low to mid 30s. I think it'll be a monster number.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Cowboys draw incredibly well. You had the Brady factor. The Browns have got to be a top 10 draw on TV in the league with their fan base all over the country. So you add all those three up together, should be a monster number.
Bucks signed safety Antoine Winfield, highest paid safety in the league. He's getting 21 a year, 4 for 84. Now they move him around and what have you, but he got paid. Guys are getting paid. Mark, it's almost like the salary cap's $255 million, and it's going up like $25-30 million a year. I mean, it's almost like teams have sat down and figured out, well, hell, we got the money for this. We can pay these guys. Speaking of getting paid, Jared Goff, 4 for 212. That's $53 million per. For the time being, makes him second highest paid quarterback in the league. 170 of that 212 is guaranteed. Yeah, exactly. That's over 3/4 of that deal, baby. Jags and the city of Jacksonville will reveal their stadium deal tonight at a city council meeting. Mark, there was a local Ben Becker who did news in Southwest Florida at the CBS affiliate 20 years ago. He's been in Jacksonville ever since. He broke the story last night about some of the details in the proposal for Action News Jax, by the way.
That's where you can watch our show in Jacksonville.
I know that. Okay, but before they
you said that with a little bit of snark.
No, not at all. No. You know, you and I have fun with news slogans. We have. For those just joining, Miller and Moulton, I was in local news for 20 years. Mark had to deal with local news, working for the hockey team's PR and what have you. One of the things we bonded over was we loved news station slogans, how they marketed themselves, you know.
And we generally would combine all of them into one.
Right. You know, live, local, late breaking, you know, things like that. Come on, you've heard it all before.
In your corner, working
now.
for you. Now.
Right. Working for you. That was my favorite. Working for you. Really? Pretty sure I'm working for me, but okay. Anyway, Action News Jax, Ben Becker, he said, by the way, if any Jags games are not going to be played in Jacksonville during the stadium construction, the number one place on the list to play them, Gainesville, not Orlando. I think I took that as a surprise. Anyway, and Monday Night Football rules analyst John Perry. All right. Got to admit, he told us a couple of weeks ago, we kept it quiet, but he's leaving. He's actually going to go work for the Bills. So the guy standing to my right's leaving. I liked him. He put up with me. He talked to me. We had breakfast together every Monday. I liked him. Got a home in Southwest Florida. Anyway, hockey. So you may have seen the Vancouver defenseman who cross-checked Connor McDavid in the face after Game 3 ended. Yeah, Carson Soucy got a 1-game suspension for that. A, you really shouldn't cross-check someone in the face. And B, you can't cross-check the face of the league in the face. They really frown upon that. Boston's Brad Marchand, who had been ruled out for Game 5 tonight against the Panthers, did travel with the team. So there's some hope that maybe he will dress and play tonight, because usually if a guy's got a head injury, if he's not playing, you don't travel him.
Right. I loved when Montgomery was asked, was he concussed? I'm not going to answer that question.
Right. Just not going to answer it. Last night, Carolina facing elimination, down 1-0 in the third. They scored 4 times. They beat the Rangers 4-1. So after being down 3-0, Canes have forced a Game 6 Thursday night at home. Held the Rangers to just 21 shots. Carolina, the far better team last night. Even when they were losing, they were the better team. Speaking of the better team, Dallas beat Colorado 5-1. Strange night. Avs went the whole first period with 2 shots on goal. They're a dynamic offensive team. That was nuts. 20-year-old Wyatt Johnston celebrated his birthday because today's his 21st birthday. So he scored 2 goals last night. And big news for the Avs, one of their top players, in fact, their leading scorer in the playoffs, Valery Nichushkin. He was suspended for at least 6 months without pay, failed another drug test. This is like strike 3. Now, in hockey, they give them like 4 or 5 strikes, but this is strike 3. So, there you go. See ya. Players found out about it 2 hours before they dropped the puck last night. That had to be alarming. Tonight, mentioned Game 5, Bruins-Panthers. Florida can advance to the conference finals. And Game 4 tonight, Vancouver-Edmonton. In Edmonton, a lot of talk that the Oilers are going to change goalies. And they should, because the guy they've been playing, Skinner, couldn't stop a beach ball. NBA. So Bronny James medically cleared to play in the NBA. You know, remember he had that heart attack or incident last summer at USC. So the NBA had to clear him to play. They medically cleared him to play. The other thing, B, he said, I'm staying in the draft. I'm not returning to college. Oh, okay. That's probably a mistake. And C, he had been listed at 6'4", senior in high school, freshman at USC. Yeah, Mark, they measured him yesterday. How tall do you think Bronny James is?
6'2".
6'1.5".
Okay.
No Donovan Mitchell. Cleveland played tough, but Boston beat them 109-102. Celtics lead the series 3-1. Tatum with 33. Celtics were plus 16 on the glass. And Oklahoma City trailed by 11 at the half. They trailed going into the fourth quarter. They made 3 late threes, and they hit their free throws. They were 23 of 24 from the line. Dallas was 12 of 23. OKC by 4, 196 to even that series at 2, despite shooting 38% from the field and only making 7 threes. Wow.
And attempting 27 threes. I mean, they were awful from behind the arc and then finally made some in the fourth quarter.
A couple of game 5s tonight. 2 series tied at 2. Pacers and Knicks in New York. T-Wolves and Nuggets in Denver.
That one starts at around 11 tonight.
10:30, yeah, and you're right.
10:30 means 10:52.
Yeah, you're right. So Scotty Scheffler and his wife had the baby, Bennett. Their son, Bennett, was born apparently middle of last week, and news didn't come out until late Sunday. Scheffler flew into Louisville yesterday, played 9 holes at Valhalla. Jimmy Dunn resigned from the PGA Tour Board. Who's Jimmy Dunn? He's the commissioner's right-hand guy. He's the guy who was meeting with the Saudis a year ago and negotiated that, deal, which has turned into nothing. So Dunn said, well, since you guys aren't doing anything with what I negotiated, I might as well leave. And U.S. Women's Open qualifying yesterday, don't normally say this, but this story could get a lot of attention. The first alternate coming out of Bradenton is Haley Davidson. Haley Davidson was born Scott Haley Davidson, transgender. Okay, USGA has a level. They've got like 19 qualifications. Apparently, it's taken a bunch of drug tests. The whole deal has met them. First alternate. Now, they have a lot of alternates and don't know where Scott/Haley is on the list of alternates. But if, needless to say, Haley Davidson ends up in the U.S. Women's Open, that's going to get a lot of attention. Baseball. Tigers with 3 in the 8th. Spencer Torkelson with a 2-run homer. They rallied to beat the Marlins 6-5. Ahmed Rosario, 3 RBIs. Rays over the Red Sox 5-3. Braves scored 2 in the 6th. Beat the Cubs 2-0. Phillies scored 2 in the 9th off Diaz, the Mets closer, and then beat them in 10, 5-4. Toronto in 10 beat Baltimore 3-2. Dalton Varsho with a homer and 2 RBIs. Pittsburgh 8-6 over Milwaukee. Brian Reynolds went 5 for 5. Nats and White Sox were postponed due to rain. Guys, that means we have a doubleheader today.
Time to redeposit.
Time to make some money. Rangers have lost 4 in a row. Cleveland beat them 7-0. Houston 9-2 over Oakland. Alex Bregman, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. Astros showing signs of life. Just hold that thought. St. Louis scored 8 in the 7th, beat the Angels 10-5. Arizona with 2 in the 9th to beat our Reds, Mark, 6-5. They've lost 11 of 12. They're killing us. Colorado's won 5 in a row. Rockies have won 5 in a row. 5-4 over San Diego. Seattle extends their lead in the West by beating KC 6-2. Dodgers 6-4 and 10 over the Giants. Ohtani and Betts each went 2 for 5, which is pretty much an average day at the office this year. And did you see MLB made a deal with Roku?
I did.
Was it Apple TV? Who had the Sunday morning 11:30 game? Apple TV had an out after 2 years, and they took it. Basically said, yeah, nobody's watching this stuff. Roku said, we'll take it. So Roku. Their games aren't going to be at 11 anymore, though. They're going to be between like noon and 1, but they've got early Sunday afternoon baseball on Roku beginning this Sunday. Yeah. And did you hear what the North Carolina trustee had to say yesterday? Out loud. Out loud. He said this out loud. Last name Breilich. He said, yeah, the University of North Carolina, we're going to reevaluate the athletic department because we don't think we have enough money to pay all our bills. And he said, and to be brutally honest, we need to join a higher revenue league. Whoa.
Hello.
Florida State, Clemson, line 1, sir. Line 1, Florida State, line 2, Clemson. Just, yeah. That's North Carolina saying that we need to join a higher revenue league. And it's 7 minutes.
TD on line 1, sir.
Yeah. And it's 7 minutes before the hour. Greg Sankey on line 2. That was
Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
You know, I kind of think Florida State / Clemson is kind of like LIV. Everybody bad-mouthing them. Don't you think at the end they're going to win? Isn't it like LIV? And lots of reasons, bad-mouthing them. Come on. Who are you putting your money on at the end? Seriously. Who are you putting your money on at the end of the day? Exactly. David Samson. He's next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yes, you are. Sorry, David.
It's okay. I just didn't want you to think I was late.
No. I was busy on another tab doing something.
No worries. How are you?
Excellent. How are you?
Excellent. Can you hear me okay?
Very well.
Yeah.
Great. Good morning, David.
Good morning. So, where is it? Chicago, St. Louis? Where are we going next?
Chicago, St. Louis. Those are the next two on board. He asked me to keep going, the guy, and I said,
"Hey,
what's a typical audience? How many people are you getting?
It's been anywhere from 63 to 197.
Okay.
So it's and some of the 63s were better than the 197. It's just every city's been different, every show's different, the audience is different. It's just a different feel. It's a very strange thing. But it's fun to get the reps and to learn the differences and to figure out your routine and figure out how to deal with different audiences and their interaction or their heckling or their interest in being in the show and how that works. So each show has been different.
How do you handle encores? Do you leave the stage? Okay, towel
No
off and
encores.
come back.
When the show ends, I say it's just business. This is nothing personal. And then they clap, and then the recording stops, and then I say again, thank you so much for being part of this show. And then I go off stage for 5 minutes, and then I come back for the meet and greets because that's where the real cash is. So you spend, people buy it in anywhere between 10 minutes or an hour of meeting people and photos and give everyone a signed ball, and then that's it.
So you're like a college football player, the $100 handshakes.
It's 100%. It's $100 handshake, photo, and a ball. It's funny, but fun. And I love meeting people, and they're real fans. And once you meet someone like that, they're a subscriber to anything you do going forward.
That's very true.
So truly, blocking and tackling is how to build this tour business and the media business. You just have to work your ass off, which you guys already know because how successful and how long you've been doing it. It is a daily grind.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the hour on a Tuesday means David Samson. He have nothing personal with David Samson, an award-winning podcast, multi-award-winning podcast. You can follow him on X at David the letter P Samson, David P Samson. By the way, second leg of the World Tour. He's announced St. Louis and Chicago, late June, early July. By the way, we just had a request. Somebody wants to know, how do you get tickets?
You go right on davidsamsonpodcast.com, which is where you can find merch for nothing personal. You can find links to buy tickets to any one of the shows that are going to happen, including Chicago on the 25th of June, on the 1st of July, and St. Louis on the 25th of June. So check out that website, davidsamsonpodcast.com. Plus all the nothing personals live there as well.
We're so jealous with the merch. I mean, we really are.
I could help you. I help Levitard. It's really easy to do. I can get you up and running in no time, as long as you tell me you get to keep the revenue and not your station.
Well, that would be a fact. It's a bigger thing for David than it is for me. He's wanted merch from day one.
Yep.
So the fun part is that you would have to teach me how to do it because technologically there's no chance with David.
All you'd have to do is cash checks.
Whew. Done.
That's
easy.
it.
I write checks, so might as well cash them.
I can teach you how to cash them, get some great designs, let people wear your stuff with your logo and let people engage with you. Look at the size of your audience and you're here every day grinding. I was shocked when our merch store opened, the number of people who wanted to wear nothing personal gear and who thought it was cool as a way of showing their loyalty. And I love wearing my own nothing personal gear as well. So it's fun.
Where do you want to start? There was a lot of money thrown around in sports yesterday. The NBA TV deal, the NFL contracts, baseball making a deal with Roku. I mean, all the sports going on. I'm just curious, what's your lead on Nothing Personal in 57 minutes?
My lead is actually going to be about Tom Brady and all the upfronts and how sports is being used in the upfronts in a way that it never has been for these networks, and how Tom Brady becoming an analyst and announcing his game before the NFL's big schedule release, which comes tomorrow, and how they've leaked a few games out purposefully. And now what the NFL has done in the middle of the NBA playoffs and in the middle of the Major League Baseball regular season, people view the schedule release as some sort of amazing content-filled holiday, and the networks are all going live for hours and hours of programming around it. And I find that to be simply fascinating, that the NFL's greed in terms of our time and in terms of squishing the other leagues is so incredibly insatiable.
There's no doubt, and we talked yesterday. Our poll question yesterday was just about the draft lotteries, and should the NFL have one? And my point was, why wouldn't the NFL want to have a draft lottery? There's another hour-long TV show that they can dump in right in the middle of whatever programming they want, and have a guaranteed audience that's going to be bigger than an NFL or NBA playoff game.
And so I think the reason is they don't have the votes right now. And the reason they don't have the votes is when you get the number one pick in football, you don't want to go through a season where you stink and not be guaranteed. That nobody in the NFL wants to be the Pistons. That's the easiest answer ever, where all of a sudden 2 years in a row, they should have had the 1 and they end up with the 5 because the Hawks have a 3% chance of getting to number 1. No owner wants to ever have that happen to him, because they view one bad season in the NFL as more than enough. And the thought is that you can turn around and go from the first pick in the draft to a playoff contender within a year. So when you put a combination of older owners together who want a Super Bowl trophy desperately, I just don't think that they're willing to risk not getting a 1-1 because of what you can do with that in the NFL.
You know, we still don't have shovels in the ground in St. Pete. And apparently now those in the know are saying that we may not get shovels in the ground till a year from now. Well, David, it takes about 3 years to build these stadiums. The Rays don't have a place to play opening day in 2028. It sounds like, is the Rays' viability in St. Pete in jeopardy?
Well, there's been a lot of press conferences in a lot of cities that are really hugely premature. And yours truly did one of them in Montreal. I did a bunch of press conferences in Miami before the real one that we had a deal done. And you saw in St. Pete, everyone stand up and say, we're done here. And I may have come on your show and certainly on Nothing Personal and said, hold on, I don't see any votes having been taken. I don't see any documents that show me anything other than the desire to cooperate between the team, which has no other options in its mind, and the community, which doesn't want to lose the team in theory. Since then, what have we seen? I have yet to see any public document, and this goes for Vegas too. I've not seen a non-relocation agreement, a construction agreement, a development agreement, a financing agreement, and all of those are public documents. Just like the Marlins deal, all of those are public. You can go read them right now if you're interested in reading War and Peace. But without those documents, you cannot start construction. What do I think happens? I think that there's an extension at the Trop, because there is no way that a deal will be done and ground will be broken. Because think about the math here. If you're going to open in April of 28, you have to start in February of 25. And the reason I say that is you don't build a building where you have your goal end date with the TCO, a temporary certificate of occupancy, for when the season starts. You have to have the building done 4 weeks earlier because you have to practice with the building. You bring in exhibition games. You have to get it working before the regular season starts. And construction is going to be 36 months. And in Florida, you have to allow for hurricanes that can hold up construction. You have to allow for any sort of issue with any subcontractors and the parts that they need to bring in, because it's like a ballet when you build a stadium. You've got thousands of people doing things in a certain order. You can't put the toilets in before the tile. Silly example, but someone delivers the toilets for all the restrooms in the ballpark and the tile hasn't been put down in the restrooms. They can't put the toilets down. Silly example, but a true example of how there's an order in how a building gets constructed. So we better start seeing some progress really soon here, or 28 is certainly in jeopardy.
When you look at what the NBA is getting with their new TV deals and the money that's there and where baseball is baseball in a spot when they're renegotiating that they should take advantage of this, or are they getting left behind right now?
I worry a little that baseball is getting left behind. They did a great announcement yesterday with Roku, but let's talk about what that announcement is. It's replacing a deal that was for $30 million a year for a package of games on a Sunday morning that were streaming on Peacock. Peacock came out and said, we're not renewing at that number. MLB and Noah Garden found a partner in Roku, a tremendous partnership, but did they even replace the $30 million in cash? The odds are no. ESPN, who holds a big part of MLB's deal, let's say $500 million per year, they have the ability to opt out after the season, which they're going to, not because they're going to leave baseball, because they want to get more baseball for less money, or the same baseball for less money, or more something Jewel-like for the same money. So it's a renegotiation. And what it makes me feel like is how different it is with the NBA right now. The NBA is cobbling together a deal where they will get way more revenue because they're combining Amazon and ESPN. And now there's a chance that NBC could outbid Turner and take over.
And
Turner.
reportedly, that's done. Reportedly, it's done, but the league is not announcing it while the playoffs are still going on Turner.
So it would be very uncomfortable to be a lame duck with the most popular show and not have an answer as to what's going to happen with that most popular show. And I'm talking about inside the NBA. From a fan standpoint, they don't care if inside the NBA is on TNT or NBC, or on ESPN. They really don't. They want that show together. Ernie Johnson's come out and said, I'm not leaving Turner. Charles Barkley's come out and said, I'm a free agent. Shaq and Kenny haven't said a word. I'll bet you dollars to donuts that group somehow finds a way to stay together. Or if Ernie Johnson gets replaced, it would just be him, even though he's the keystone in some ways. But I think that if NBC gets the package over Turner, that show will find a way onto that channel. But the point is, when you add up all of those deals, they're going up. NFL up. MLB, it's a concern because most of MLB broadcast revenue is local, and local broadcast revenue is down because of the bankruptcy of Bally's.
He's David Samson. Nothing personal with David Samson. He records at live 8 a.m. every morning. He's part of the CBS Sports HQ family as well. You can hear him weekly on the Dan Le Batard Show. How about the money for the quarterbacks that's being thrown around right now? Just curious, your gut feel. Jared Goff, $53 million. Do you think Dak is worth more, the same, or less? Because Tua is in the same boat too.
I have yet to see how any quarterback other than Mahomes is worth that type of cap hit. It's better to win when your quarterback is in his first contract and surround him. And then when your quarterback gets expensive, it's very hard to keep pieces. I think the Dolphins will have a problem if they give Tua that kind of money. I think the Lions will have a problem by guaranteeing 130 to Goff. I love the fact that no one's going to touch Haslam's 230 that he gave to Watson. That is still a ceiling of guarantee that exists. But I think that when you're putting your football team together, you look at what's happening with Burrow and you get hurt and you've got that amount of cap space, you've got a problem. And is Goff going to be healthy for 4 straight years? Is anyone willing to not take the under on that bet, that he'll be healthy and productive for 4 straight years? I just don't know that I'm buying it. But I understand why Detroit would do it, because they feel so good about what happened last season.
And I don't know what choice they have. I mean, that's the other side of it. With the cap going up, the price, what Jerry Jones is doing and trying to draw that line in the sand with Dak and say, play it out. He's damned if you do, damned if you don't there.
What have the Cowboys done exactly with Dak?
Not a damn thing.
I'm trying to remember.
He's a 59. He's in the 2 playoff wins. David.
I mean, what are we talking about? He's a great name, great quarterback. But if you're Jerry Jones, you have the least successful general manager of any general manager in the game is the GM of the Cowboys. And he happens to be the same guy who's the owner of the team. So you've got to either fire your GM, get a new quarterback, do something different, because what you're doing with your team, it's just not working.
David Samson, Nothing Personal with David Samson is his weekday podcast. He records it live at 8 a.m. every day. And very quickly, that website again, if you want merch and tickets to your tour.
DavidSamsonPodcast.com. Come join us.
He's David Samson. He joins us Tuesdays, 7 a.m. Eastern, right here on Miller and Moulton. Be well, my friend.
Take care. See you next week.
David P. Samson is how you follow him on X. David, the letter P, Samson. Miller and Moulton. Damned if you do, damned if you don't with quarterbacks, aren't you?
They're going to
really
do
are.
it.
All right. We know Samson would move on from him, but then you're stuck with Hendon Hooker.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
And my thought is that the only way a transgender athlete can compete is as a guy. That if you're transitioning from a woman to a man, that you would fail all drug tests to compete as a woman. And if you're transitioning from a guy to a gal, I think you would also fail all drug tests to compete as a woman. So my thought is that, you know, sure, of course you can compete, but you're going to have to compete as a man. And that could be a disadvantage, but I would rather, I don't think it's fair for them to compete as women. I think transgender athletes have to compete as men.
I completely agree. And it's a touchy subject, but yeah, I completely agree.
I mean, you know, that's my thought. Obviously, they should be allowed to compete. You can't discriminate against somebody to be able to compete. It's just a matter of, you know, what category do they compete in? I think they have to compete as men.
Caitlyn Jenner had a great take on it, I thought, where it's like if you go through male puberty, you're just at an advantage, period. Like it's just
you know, I mean, my feeling, if you can't pass, you know, an Olympic drug test, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And I don't even think athletes who fully transition from male to female would pass an Olympic drug test to compete as women. I don't believe they would. So, and that's why my feeling is, and I understand that then all transgender athletes would be at a disadvantage. They would, no matter which way you're transitioning. I just, if we're going to have a disadvantage here, I think, it has to be one way. But it is interesting, and I took the 5 minutes, and believe me, it took 5 minutes. I read the USGA criteria on transgender athletes transitioning both ways. I mean, it's detailed, it's long, but apparently there's extensive drug testing involved. But I mean, this is the U.S. Women's Open. First alternate coming out of Bradenton. Don't know where she will then be on the list of alternates, and you don't know how many alternates are going to be needed. But, alternates do get in every year.
First alternates almost always get in.
Well, but how many, local qualify, whatever the last section of qualifying is. So you have first alternates from all of those places. I don't know how
they rank them.
And they don't list them, apparently. There's no public list, at least not now. But I read a story yesterday in which it said they do not list the first alternates. I mean, I don't know how you list them, to be honest with you. You got 8 first alternates from 8 locations. How do you rank them? But
took a huge nap yesterday, and I woke up with like 5 missed calls from my brother. So I was a little concerned, right? And the last one, he left a voicemail, and he's just like, "This is BS. Why aren't you answering my calls?" And everything was fine. He just wanted to talk.
Want to talk Jared Goff, didn't he?
I did I missed the extension. I woke up, and that was the first thing I saw. I just laughed. I'm like, I'm never deleting that voicemail. He's like, "What makes you so good that you can't answer my calls?" You guys think Goff is overpaid, by the way, or no? Would you have given him that deal?
I think he's overpaid, and I would have given him that deal.
I agree. 2 things can be true. It's the market.
I agree with Mark. They gave him a little more than I thought. I thought it might be closer to 50 instead of 53, but
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Miller and Moulton, Miller_Moulton, MillerMoulton.com. You can find us. Will you watch Caitlin Clark tonight? She's making her pro debut. ESPN2, 7:30. Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. That's our poll question. Will you watch that? Mark Miller, the David Moulton on X, Miller_Moulton on X. Do we post this thing on our website?
Not really.
I think the X feed comes through on the website, though, doesn't it?
I believe the X feed comes through on the website.
So it's on there.
So MillerMoulton.com also. We watch Caitlin Clark tonight. So far, it's close to a 50-50 split because we've got the yeses broken into 2 categories. The I'm all in yes, or I'll sample it. And then there's the no, I don't watch the WNBA. And it's pretty 50-50 right now. No is 53%. And the yes is 47%, 21% all in.
Yeah, I'm in that middle category because of the other sports that are on tonight. If it was, if this is a month from now.
That's the key part of it. Like, what if she's on the Olympic team and then the Olympics are going on and you can watch Caitlin Clark? I think the answer would be most people would tune in.
By the way, the feeling right now is she's going to be left off the team. She didn't get to try out. All right. Remember, she had to lose the region
Right.
final to attend the last quote unquote tryouts. They were going on while she was competing in the Final Four. And basically, they got a bunch of pros that are on the team, and they're like, who are we going to cut to make room for her? And the word is they're leaning towards not having her on the team. And so I'm curious how important these first few games are. I mean, does she need to tear it up for them to go, yeah, we got to find a spot on the team. We're going to have an unpleasant conversation with somebody, but she's on the team.
Boy, the animosity that would create to kick someone off to put her on. There are already, this is Tiger-esque in this way to me. And I know it's a team sport versus an individual, but there was a lot of animosity towards Tiger when he joined the tour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot.
Sure.
From the other players on the tour that couldn't handle the amount of coverage he was getting, how it was all about Tiger and all the work they'd put in. And you've read comments where it's like that are similar to that from WNBA players that understand it, but are like, what do we have to do to get the notoriety that she's getting?
But then also, they're flying private now for the first time ever. Why do you think they're flying private? Because money is now pouring into the league for the first time. Why do you think that is? You're right, Mark. This is Tiger, because that was the exact same thing. The money didn't pour in immediately with Tiger, but it was right on the horizon. And there were some, by the way, Paul Azinger loved Tiger from day one. Paul Azinger, there are interviews that Azinger did in which he said the best player in the world is 21 years old. I think it's great. And he wasn't a commentator then. He was he was still playing on tour. And he's like, if he kicks my butt, he kicks my butt. Okay. More power to him. But you're right, Mark. There were a lot of people that were like, what the heck? You guys, start covering the tour. And the media is like, yeah, I think he's going to be the tour.
So it does have that effect to it to me. I mean, come on. I'm actually going to watch it. I'm going to watch part of a WNBA game tonight with playoffs going on.
I know, in between Panthers, Bruins, and the start of the Knicks Pacers, right?
When is the WNBA finals? When is that going on?
Well, remember, interrupted by the Olympics this year and what have you. I think the finals go all the way into September.
Okay. Because, by then football will be happening, but maybe that's not a better question. But if the Fever, if she's excellent and they end up making a run in the postseason, then maybe you'll get more people watching, similar to the tournament.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But, you would think, put her on the Olympic team. Got a few people watching that on NBC in late July, month of August. No?
No, I completely
NBC's
agree.
On the phone every day with the WNBA right now, telling them, are you out of your mind?
Snap out of it.
And they're like, listen, I know we're not a TV partner yet, but we're going to be.
We're about to be.
So that's our poll question. And I'm with you, Mark. Obviously, because, we're both hockey guys and my Knicks are playing. So, but I will definitely check it out. I'll tell you what, I will probably miss the start because my guess is, and also these hockey games are not starting on time, but I'll probably have, half of a quarter where I can watch Caitlin Clark play, in which the hockey's in intermission and they haven't tipped off the Knicks Pacers yet. So,
Mark, will you have it on the split screen?
I don't know what
setup. You have
I
a good
don't know
setup.
what the look's going to be. Typically it's one basketball, one hockey. I've got to get through the big playoff softball game for the daughter tonight. Because
seriously? Don't they know what time of the year it is?
No, they don't.
My goodness.
No, I'll be at the ballpark tonight. Big game, David.
She's 10. How big can it be?
Big game.
Oh, my goodness. Okay,
Seriously?
Good luck. All right, 28 minutes after the hour. Time now for the play of the day. Quite curious where young Trent has gone, actually. Where are you going there, big fella?
Yeah, the playoff action was all weird last night. Blowouts in hockey, tough watches in hoops. So we're going to do baseball. Mark and I called out the former number 1 overall pick, Spencer Torkelson, for his lack of power hitting, and he's since hit 2 homers in 2 games. Yesterday in the 8th, he gave the Tigers this one to get ahead of the Miami Marlins.
Torkelson gives it a ride. 1 homer becomes 2. 1 night later. Wow. It's a torque bomb waterfall. Oh, my.
I don't know what the waterfall reference was. I was watching the game. However, I was watching it on, mute. So I think they might have been talking about waterfalls or something. But Jason Benetti on the call for you. And the Tigers win at 6-5.
There's not a waterfall in Detroit, is there?
No. That's what I mean. There must have been some.
I was going to say, we're not in Kansas City. Where else do we have waterfalls?
I don't know.
You went Tigers, Marlins?
Miami, the Florida connection.
Gotcha.
I thought it was somewhat worth it. Plus, you and I had called him out a couple days ago, so I just figured, It ain't like the hockey was great.
No, that's true. I mean, Arizona 2 in the 9th to beat the Reds. Phillies 2 in the 9th to tie. 1 in the 10th to beat the Mets. Yeah, the options were limited. I hear you.
8th inning homer, 446 feet to left center. Spencer Torkelson.
3 in the 8th for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Beat the Marlins. Everybody beats the Marlins. And that's our Molly Maid play of the day. Remember, when Molly Maid's coming over, clean your house the day before. Why do we do that? Why do we clean before the cleaners?
Because we want the cleaners to do the big stuff. We don't want them picking up after us. We're not cleaning the house, but we're picking the house up. I've been brainwashed by my wife on this. I'm just telling you what the facts are. You pick the house up so that they don't have clutter, so they can dust and vacuum and clean ceiling fans and do the stuff that you don't want to do.
Do you hose down the car before you take it to the car wash?
I do take all the stuff out of the inside. I clean the inside of I pick up the inside of my car.
You're a nice person. I'm not. That's what I'm finding out when we do this. All right. Plug Molly Maid. Whatever. I was a client for 15 years. They're great. I didn't clean up once before they came.
239-774-5839. Whether you go with the Miller method or the Moulton method, you want to go with Molly Maid for your house cleaning. 239-774-5839. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Football too much, and after the game was done, I started screaming at my phone. I was like, "Oh my god!" My husband's like, "Oh my god, what's wrong?" I was like, "Taylor Swift is wearing my bracelet," and it was just like.
I knew the approval rating for that play of the day would not be high, but I don't.
What are you going to do?
So, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't care.
There you go.
Fox USGA, is that what that says?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Gift from David.
You guys matched today.
And I did Fox Golf for 4 years.
You're matching blue polos.
It's funny. My shirt's purple, but it doesn't look it.
Oh, okay. Also, ambient. Yeah, my bad. I care about the play of the day. What I'm saying is sometimes you pick something and you got to just roll with it, and you don't care what the feedback is. But obviously, I care about the presentation. Good morning, Dratherion. Or Dratherian. Dratherion. Whatever it is. Dre. We're going on first names in the Twitch chat room. Love the signing. I think two things can be true. You can overpay a little bit, but it resets the market. The cap's going up.
And ambient, you keep going after if they don't win a Super Bowl. We're talking about the Lions here. If he makes the playoffs 4 years in a row, that contract is a great contract. Well, I guess 5 years in a row.
6 years ago, the highest paid quarterback was making $25.5 million. It's skyrocketing. It's just how it is. And I do think there's an element of getting it done before Lawrence got his money or Jordan Love got his money. I mean, it's kind of like it feels like the Lions did it on their own terms, just based on how the quarterback market is and how it works. And you got to keep the band together. And it's the best Lions team in the Super Bowl era that we just saw. Okay, here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the top of the hour, Pat Kirwan joins us at that time. Bob Harig will join us 1 hour from now, live from Valhalla in Louisville, the site of the PGA Championship. Had some dramatic golf at Valhalla in the last 25 years. You had the epic PGA, Tiger and Bob May going overtime. Tiger in the midst of winning back-to-back PGAs. You had the Ryder Cup. The U.S. was losing a bunch of them there for about 15 plus years in a row. We won one. It was at Valhalla. Azinger, captain in the boys. Tiger was out. He had the broken leg after winning the U.S. Open. Didn't play. Phil was the old guy on the team in 08. He was in his early 40s then, I think. No, he was in his late 30s. What am I talking about? So, and then Rory, 6 years later, 10 years ago. One is, by the way, I know we've said it many times, but now that they're playing the very same championship at the very same course 10 years later, if somebody had said on the CBS broadcast crew, Rory's having a great run here, but I don't think he's going to win a major for another 10 years.
It's the third fastest to the number of major. What does he have? He's got
4.
Right. So he's the third fastest to 4.
Uh-huh.
Only Tiger and Jack did it in a shorter time period, or did it at a younger age, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And he's stuck.
Yep. So, but he's coming in off back-to-back wins, won a team event, and then he just won at Quail Hollow by 5. Got Scheffler, who's got like 1 second-place finish in the last 3 months. Just had a son.
Yeah, how does he play with a kid? He played great with a pregnant wife. How does he play with a kid? I don't know.
It's not like he's having to lug the kid around with him. It's not like he's got to feed him and then make an 8-footer.
I understand.
I mean,
but as Scheffler's even said, when this kid was born, golf took another notch down on the importance pole of this.
Yeah, I get it. But, we get it. We've all been there, okay? We all have jobs. We all have lives. We understand the pecking order. We really do. But now it's time to go to work, okay? Mom and the kid are back in Texas. It's time for you to go to work. Do we really think he's not going to show up? Until she went into labor, you don't think he was hitting balls at home? Honey, I got my phone with me. I'm going to go hit balls for an hour and a half. Call me if you need me. Okay. Come on. He's ready to go. What I find interesting is he's not won a tournament of any kind outside of the months of February, March, or April. I find that to be a strange happening.
He's plus 350 to win this thing. Those are short odds in a golf tournament. Those are Tiger odds in a golf tournament.
Yeah, they really are. What can I get for Koepka? He won 2 weeks ago on LIV. He's the defending champ. He's got, 5 majors? Active players. Tiger's number 1 with 15. Phil's number 2 with 6. And Koepka's number 3 with 5.
Plus 1,300. So 13 to 1.
13 to 1 on Koepka? That might be worth a shekel or two. Anybody else you'd put money on? Would you go a Shoffley? Would you go a Homa?
I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't go a Shoffley. Are you kidding me? He's not going to win.
I know he's not going to win, but he's going to be on that leaderboard. Maybe he backs into one day. Maybe he just posts a score and it ends up being enough one day.
Homa played okay last week. He's 25 to 1.
Well, he likes that course, though. He's won at Quail Hollow twice, so that's a good course for him.
Right.
But he's due to win a major. Anyway, Bob
And
Harig
you
in
do
an
to win a
hour.
major, PGA's the one you win.
Yeah, that's usually it. Yeah. Bob Harig in a little less than an hour. All right, we'll talk some golf. So you tell me, Jared Goff, 53 million. Tua, same, more, less. If you're the Dolphins, not what he's going to end up getting, but this is like thumbs up, thumbs down, thumb side, thumb sideways.
I would do the same contract that Jared Goff had for Tua right now if I were the Dolphins.
So you're okay with that deal if you're the Dolphins?
I'm okay with that deal if I'm the Dolphins. Absolutely.
So he plays this year, final year of his rookie deal, and then 53 per kicks in for 5 years, and you're going to guarantee, 4 years.
4 years, and you're guaranteeing 3 of them.
Okay. So you'll do 4 for 212 right now with Tua.
Right now.
Dak, if you're Jera. Here's the funny thing. His cap hit next year, first off, if you signed the deal now, it could lower his cap hit this year. His cap hit this year is 59. Next year, his cap hit next year is 35, whether he's on the team or not. That's remarkable. But
if you, this is where I get confused with this. Is that cap hit going to be higher next year if they sign him to an extension?
No, they can work it. Actually, they could. No.
Okay.
Well, in theory, yeah. My guess is it's difficult to imagine they could make that 35 go down.
No, but I mean, does that 35, if he signs a $50 million deal, does the 35 become 80? Or
I don't think so.
I would sign the same deal. If I were the Cowboys, I'd sign Dak to that deal. Dak won't sign that deal.
Okay. Well, then tell me what you do. Because listen, there's no denying Dak's been a better regular season quarterback. Jared Goff's been the quarterback of 2 teams who have gone to a conference championship game and one went to a Super Bowl. How much credit you're giving Jared Goff? That's up to you. Jared Goff's playoff record's 4-4. Dak's is 2 and whatever. 4, 5, something like that. Dak's never been to a conference championship game. If you think winning is a quarterback stat, there are those that think it very much is. There are those that hate it.
I think Dak's going to be looking for upper 50s.
Yeah. Sure, it's what he's going to be looking for. But if you're the
Cowboys, I would love to sign him to the contract that Jared Goff just signed. I don't think he'd sign it.
Okay, so then are you willing to say, see you, big fella?
No.
So basically, whatever Dak wants, you're going to give him.
Well, can I meet, if Dak wants, can I get 55? Can I pay him more than Goff, but not substantially more than Goff?
Like 55?
50, right.
Well, but Burrow's 55. See, this is the other thing. This is where you look at Dak and you go, you really think you're Joe Burrow? Because you're not. I mean, we love you. You know
Dak
that.
would look right bad. I'm healthier. I play more games.
Yeah, you don't win. Okay, you're not Joe Burrow. No one in the league thinks you're Joe Burrow. We wish you the best. I mean, there's not much room between Goff and Burrow. There's $2 million a year. That's it. That's why this Goff contract is a really big deal for Tua, for Dak, for Trevor Lawrence. And we know guys end up making more money if they sign later. Like Mahomes is making $8 million a year less than Goff. Well, a year from now he won't be. The Chiefs will renegotiate that. Josh Allen's making $10 million a year less than Goff. Well, that's not going to stay for another year or so. The Bills will rework that.
I think you're really onto something because between Tua, Dak, and Trevor Lawrence, all 3 of them have not really had playoff success.
Neither's Justin Herbert.
I know, but my point is that Goff, if Goff is if that resets the market or kind of shakes things up, right? He's making 53. He's been to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. So if playoff success is part of the negotiation process, that's huge.
Here's the problem. If you think winning in the playoffs is a quarterback stat, Of the 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, how many of them have a winning record in the playoffs?
Half?
No way.
No way.
No way.
The answer
We
is
went through.
2.
We went through. I was going to say Mahomes and who else?
Wow.
Burrow.
Yeah, you're right. Wow.
I mean, Mahomes' record is Brady-esque. Patrick Mahomes' record in the playoffs is 15-3. Just let that marinate for a little bit.
But you're right, because if Tua gets paid now and Dak gets paid, that's not going to help that stat we just brought up.
Not one bit.
Joe Burrow's playoff record's 5-2. Goff, been to 2 conference title games in a Super Bowl. Playoff record's 4-4. Josh Allen. Bills have had a lot of success with Josh Allen. 5-5 in the playoffs. But, Justin Herbert's 0-1. Lamar Jackson is 2-4. Jalen Hurts is 2-3. He's gone to a Super Bowl. 2-3 playoff record. Kyler Murray's 0-1. Deshaun's 1-2. Kirk Cousins is 1-3.
It's hard to have a winning record in the postseason.
It is.
Unless you win the last game, you're bound to lose one.
And so the number, if you just say 500 or better,
goes to 4.
It goes to 4 because Jared Goff and Josh Allen are both 500. So if you are obsessed with the number of playoff wins and a quarterback's playoff record, there's only 2 guys that are going to make you happy. Mahomes and Burrow. Everybody else you're not going to want to pay.
But there is something about getting there, too. And when you look at Allen and Goff, who have played in 8 and 10 games, respectively, they've been getting to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Unlike the 0-1 Justin Herbert record, if you know what I mean.
So, Dak, only 2 playoff wins. Got it. Yep.
What would you pay Dak?
No, I'd look right at him and I'll offer him the golf deal.
But do you think he'd sign it?
No, I don't. And
so would you be willing to go to 55 a year?
No, I would not. I would look right at him and go, I cannot pay you more than Joe Burrow. You're not as good. Now, I'd look right at him and say, you can prove me wrong this year. Okay, win some games in January, and I'll pay you. I'd look right at him and go, you take us to the NFC Championship game or better this year, I'll make you the highest paid quarterback in the league. I would. Look him right in the face. I go, otherwise, the Jared Goff deal, tell you what, I'll throw in 100,000 more per year. So instead of 4 for 212, it'll be 4 for 212.4. I'll make you the second highest paid quarterback in the league. But I ain't paying you more than Joe Burrow unless you win some games in January.
And you'd be fine with him walking if he doesn't sign.
I would. First off, how many teams are going to need a quarterback next year? I know we're pressed for time before Pat Kirwan, but very quickly, there's been a lot of quarterbacks drafted in the last year or two. Cousins got signed. Seriously, teams that next year. Giants are going to need one.
Giants are going to need a quarterback.
Okay, going quickly by division. Anybody in the NFC North? No. South? Maybe.
Maybe in Tennessee. Or NFC South?
Maybe New Orleans.
Right.
Maybe. Okay, so that's one, and then there's one on the side. West, maybe Seattle. So we got 1 yes and 2 maybes in the NFC. AFC, teams that are definitely going to need a quarterback next year. You can put the Jets in the maybe category because he's 40, and he's coming off a major injury. That's it. Okay? AFC North, no. Well, Steelers,
because we don't know what
Steelers are a maybe because they could keep one of their 2 or they're going to have to go outside. So right now we got 1 yes, the Giants, and 4 maybes. AFC South?
Tennessee.
Okay. Is that a yes or a maybe?
A maybe.
Okay. 1 yes, 5 maybes. AFC West.
Who knows what Vegas is going to do? They're a maybe.
Okay. 1 yes, 6 maybes. It's not like
That's
a year ago
maybe
at this
before
time.
the season starts, though.
There
will be more by the time the season ends.
I don't know. A lot of teams are contractually locked in. They've just drafted these guys. Hell, we just did 6 in the first round. I don't know how many teams can move. I mean, maybe Carolina could cut bait on Bryce Young after year 2. But, Mark, I think a lot of teams are locked in for 24 and 25 at the quarterback position.
Would Arizona do with Russ what Arizona do with Kyler, what Denver did with Russ?
I was just going to bring that up.
Oof.
Kyler might be out.
He's 6th highest paid quarterback in the league. The contract is literally just kicking in. I think it might be a bigger hit than the Broncos took with Russ to unload Kyler.
Miller and Moulton. Pat Kirwan. We'll talk to him about the Goff contract and all things quarterback in NFL. That's next. Thanks for listening.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commission and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Pat.
That was a very exciting conversation you were having there, David being the GM. I love David. You went through the whole thing suggesting you should not use postseason records, and they're not using it because they don't have very good ones. Then you got to Prescott and said, I'll pay you if you win in the postseason.
Yep.
They're going to pay him no matter what.
Well, because Jerry's an idiot, but
Jerry's old. Jerry's not starting over.
Well, then I have to admit, if he's going to end up paying all of these guys, I don't know why he didn't sit down and do it this offseason.
Well, he can get CeeDee Lamb done without doing anything.
Well, why didn't he do Dak? Why would you let Dak count $59 million against this year's cap if you're going to do a deal with him for the future? That makes no sense at all.
They're going to end up doing the deal. They just are so far apart for the last 2 months that they haven't been able to, but they'll get one done. And it'll be absurd. But Jerry doesn't care. He's an old owner who doesn't think he has enough time to start over. And he, by the way, won 12 games 3 years in a row.
I know that. I know that.
Does that count? Sure does. Anyone else win that many games except Mahomes?
Yeah, Niners, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, they'll do it. What's going to happen, though, is they can't do Parsons till next year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to end up losing Lawrence. And Martin might retire, but they got 5 big, fat deal guys. And they're going to have to dump at least 2 of them. I worry more about percentage of cap. The money doesn't mean anything to me anymore.
Well,
percentage of cap. Cleveland's the killer.
255 is going to become 280 or 285, and then it's going to become 320. I mean, in 2 years' time, the cap's going to be 320, and paying a quarterback $55 million is going to look, it's going to be 15% of the cap.
Yeah. Like you can look at, I heard Mark talking about Justin Herbert and his record, but first off, he is as talented as any quarterback we're talking about. Number one, his cap right now is under 8% cap charge. Next year, it goes to 13 and change. The year after that, it goes to 15 and 8. These are all tolerable numbers. 18.6 in 2027. And finally, in 2028, he will be 21% of the cap. Now, when you look at Cleveland, that's the big there. I always look at the top 3. How much of the cap is the top 3 taking? Because that's what chokes off your roster. They're at 40% for 3 players, and they're going to 41% next year.
Well, where is Dallas for 3 players then, Pat?
Well, I can look theirs up in a second here, but Dak's at 21.7% of the cap, so you got to knock that down. They're 36% of the cap for the top 3. Lamb will do a deal that'll knock the cap number down for him a little bit. Lawrence is going to have to go next year. Martin will have to go just to get Parsons in there. But they got to bring Prescott's cap number down from almost 22%. Prescott has got them by the short hairs, and they know it, and he knows it.
Well, I'm waiting for the team to play hardball with a quarterback.
They don't. Get your name, Sean Payton. First year of a long deal.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home on this Tuesday, Pat Kirwan, kind enough to join us once again. He of NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, which is weekdays 3 to 7. During the season, he does a show on Saturdays as well. And then on Sundays, he's part of CBS's NFL Today. Pat joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, all points in between Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. Some people are getting paid in the NFL, Pat. Paid.
Yeah, and we have a lot of callers complaining about it. And I keep trying to tell them what you guys want is never going to. Guys are like, we got to go back to no guaranteed money. There's no going back. They started free agency. And I can take your player by paying them more, and that's the way it's going to be. 80% guaranteed on the Goff deal. We all know about Watson's 100% guaranteed. At least nobody followed suit on that thing. But when you look at all these contracts and getting paid, you got to start asking yourself, when's Mahomes getting his new deal? He's getting close to the midway mark of a 10-year deal, and he's smart enough not to complain. I'm sure they've talked to him about it, but he'll be the first guy in my mind over $60 million. But what are you going to pay Tua? What are you going to pay Jordan Love? To me, those 2 guys and even Trevor Lawrence are the ones that their agents are drooling over the Goff deal.
How much more do they think they will get than what Goff got, Pat?
Well, they may not get more, but I think they're going to get close. Remember when I said I thought the 4 guys, I excluded Prescott. With Prescott, it's easy. But the four guys without him, Goff, Lawrence, Love, and Tua, could they get to $1 billion? Well, we kind of said over 800 million. The 212 came in. So, a couple of more 212s and we're going to get to 900 million. We're certainly going to blow up $1 billion once we do Prescott's deal with it. But you tell me, fellas, I think the hardest one to figure out is Jordan Love.
Well, what interested me more than the 53 was the 4 years. But okay, Jared Goff's a 30-year-old quarterback. He was drafted first overall in 2016, which also that's the year Dak was drafted. So can the Cowboys then look at Dak and say, hey, man, you're 30, 31. I'm not giving you more than a 4-year deal, when obviously these guys all want 5, 6, etc.
Well, most of the smart ones want to get back to the bargaining table after they have a 4-year fully guaranteed or 80% guaranteed deal. And in the world of quarterbacks, Jared Goff, who is 29 and on his way to 30, knows he can get back to the bargaining table again off this deal. In his mind, there is no reason. Cousins got a deal. We all know about the other guys. Brady, all these guys have played late. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford. Goff's figuring this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm going back to the bargaining table, probably in 3 years. So that's what they all look for. And yeah, every agent told their clients, we're not doing a Mahomes deal. You haven't seen one yet. Now, Burrow got close, but he didn't get to a Mahomes deal. And the agents don't like that deal. But I would throw Mahomes in there for a renegotiation. Right now, he's sitting at almost 14.5% of the cap, which is real nice. Nice having a guy at that point. Goff is only at 12.6 with this new deal. So those are good numbers. But the Herbert deal is so interesting to me because whether you like, I love the guy. The cap strategy is pretty damn good. It's not till 2028 that he crosses 20% of the cap. So that's why I keep telling my listeners, stop worrying about the money. The money is what you're comparing to what you make. You can't throw a 25-yard out, so don't even compare yourself.
So back to Jordan Love.
Yeah.
What type of deal should he get? What type of deal would you offer him, Pat?
Well, he took that little 2-year deal, right, to get over the hump.
Right, the bridge contract.
And avoid having to put the option on him or a franchise tag. But we're coming up to that now. And he played just good enough to have pretty strong feelings. I would think his agent's looking right at the Goff deal. Because these agents know these clubs can't turn down these guys. So I would be surprised. I'd be disappointed in the agent if Love can't get the Goff deal.
Well, and Pat, Green Bay is the youngest team in the league, and they may even be younger with all the draft picks that they could keep. I mean, Green Bay can pay Jordan Love. I mean, over the next, if I was Green Bay, I'd want to get a big cap charge for Jordan Love on my books as soon as possible. And I'd want his cap to go downward when 3 years from now, I got to pay all the guys around you.
You just give him a huge roster bonus. That's how
Right.
you do it. You take a big cap hit with him now. But I don't know how you can walk away from the guy. And this little 1 year left on his deal thing. And I know this. Franchise tags equal divorces. If you threaten him with a franchise tag and put him on a franchise tag, he'll pull a Kirk Cousins on you and just play it out and walk away. And you never can want that to happen there. So, and they've always paid their quarterbacks. Favre got paid, relatively speaking. Rodgers got paid, so they're going to pay the guy. But here's what I'd ask you, David, the GM. They should have done that deal before Goff got done. Getting Goff done sets up a whole different definition of fair.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, we talk about this in golf, first one posting with all these quarterbacks, all the other agents are going, we ain't going first. Okay. Because whoever posts first, we're going to ask for more. So no need to post first. But also if I'm the Packers, I want to go long-term with Love. I want to go 6, 7+ years with Jordan Love.
Yeah. That's the Burrow deal. And the Burrow deal plus 10%, it's already old considering how the NFL looks. The agents look at contract, It's old if it's 2 years old. So it's the Burrow deal. You can page right to that deal and go 10% over it, and maybe 15% over it. And I know the three of us have talked regularly about doing percentage of cap deals, and they never do that. And I don't think they're going to. I don't think the league wants them to. Why deal with dollars?
Pat, he hasn't gotten, I mean, what's he making, around 25 last year and this year? They gave him kind of that cute bridge deal. So he hasn't gotten that 45, 50 plus million. Don't you think the Packers could look right at him and say, listen, I can't pay you more than Joe Burrow. I can't. You're not as good as him. I'll put you in between Goff and Burrow. Let's do 6 years. I'll guarantee 4.5. I'm literally guaranteeing you $250 million. Go.
My answer would be, sorry, we're either going to do it my way or my way. And I'll take a 4, and that means that kid will be back at the table 2 more times. And what are you going to say to him? Well, we're going to let you go. Those agents and that player knows you're never going to say it. So when you're negotiating, you guys know a lot about negotiating. When you negotiate with no leverage,
that's
you're not
how
negotiating
we for most of our lives, Pat.
Right.
So.
Right.
I knew I could spark Mark if I used that analogy. Look at him. He had reached for his coffee and a smile.
Yep.
So, Mark, you're saying we're the Packers, okay, and our employers have always been Jordan Love? Is that what you're saying? We have no leverage here?
None. So I have difficulty trying to understand a conversation which I have leverage with my boss.
Well, let's get off you guys and your boss. That's not going to help anyone anywhere.
You're telling me there's not a team out there that will stand up to their quarterback?
Will the Dolphins stand up to Tua?
Well, you have to admit the Dolphins' case is a little different in this sense. You could argue he's their best quarterback since Marino.
Yeah,
okay. Okay, but when you're a franchise, though, when you're a franchise that's gone a quarter of a century without feeling as if you've had a franchise quarterback, okay, your feelings towards him, the Packers can go, well, hell, he's our third best quarterback in the last 30 years. I mean, if you're the Packers, couldn't they, if they got alienated in negotiations, just go, you know what? Screw it. We'll draft a quarterback this year. Tag, let him walk.
Well, that's called an emotional reaction to a business decision, and that's a bad business decision based on anger. One thing I learned with negotiating 300 contracts, you never get emotional. You never draw a line in the sand. The only thing Mr. Hess ever said to me is, you just learn how to keep talking. And I didn't even know what he meant at first, but the more you do contracts, the more you just keep talking. Call the next day like nothing bad happened the day before, even when they call you something that starts with an F. No. Call him the next day and say, hey, how you doing, Jack? Want to play golf today? Start over and just keep going.
Is that the case, Pat, from a standpoint of leverage? Is quarterback, I mean, we know quarterback's the position. Are there other positions that have that kind of leverage? Because teams will let players walk all the time. Is quarterback the one where the quarterback controls it, or do you think there are other positions where players control the leverage?
No, I do think there's a rare player, Myles Garrett kind of guy, but no, I think if they feel they have the best safety in the game and they're in Tampa, they pay Winfield. You know, they pay him, but they don't. I was talking to the GM of the Lions the other day, and he's been very active this spring signing players. Go look at Penei Sewell's deal, and they're doing a bunch of them. But he stopped me and said, Pat, you know better than anybody. The quarterback deal is entirely different than every other deal. We know the market and the other positions, and we play the market game, and we know that occasionally we're going to have the highest paid right tackle, and that'll last for a month. But when you get to the quarterback deal, the intricacies of getting out of the deal somewhere down the road, like I keep talking about Cousins. You know, in 2 years, they'll trade Cousins, and someone will take him. It's $45 million a year for 2 years. I don't care if you give me a third or a fourth, but if I'm ready to put Penix on the field, I walk away from Cousins. Where is the parachute on all these deals?
The Lions, for the record, this offseason, Goff, 4 for 212. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 for $120. Penei Sewell, 4 for $112. So that's 3 guys, 4-year deals for $444 million. Very quietly, the Bucks, Winfield, 4 for $84. All right. Baker Mayfield, 3 for $100. How good does that deal look now? Mike Evans, 2 for 41 to 46, depending on reports. And they re-signed Levante David to an $8.5 million deal. And they're already negotiating with Tristan Wirfs. Pat, I got to admit, if I'm an agent, and I know we're running out of time here, it tells me there's plenty of money.
There is plenty of money. You just have to spend it in the right way. I told you, Cleveland concerns me because I saw this with the Lions 8 or 9 years ago. They're at 40% of the cap for 3 players.
He's Pat Kirwan. More with Pat coming up on the other side here on Miller and Moulton.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you
I'm gonna
looking
go get myself a blue shirt. You guys look great.
Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason. And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from 1/2 carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
How's the third wheel in there?
He's doing.
Is that me?
Yes.
Look around you. Look around. Is there a fourth wheel? No.
I would argue you're the third wheel right now, and I'm the fourth.
You know what? You know your place in life. That's what my dad would say.
Oh, yeah.
There's times you sit at the big table, and there's times you sit in the kitchen. That's
right.
the way life is. Know when to sit in the kitchen, you losers. My dad would look at us and go, "You're not sitting with us tonight. We have company. Go in the other room and don't embarrass us."
What are you going to do? You're going to have like a week off before your Blades play again. I
think I might run back up north for a couple days and
start getting things opened up.
My wife's up there. Yeah, I got one grandson who's been opening up the deck stuff and all that junk. But I definitely have to get up to the lake and put my dock in. And I got one guy who'll help me, and he can only help me one day. So I think I just might go up and do all that stuff and then come right back. So it's fine.
You have a floating dock there, Pat?
No, I have aluminum, and it's
aluminum. Okay,
and it's flat. You know, the pods on the bottom that sit on the bottom of the lake. It's kind of tricky to balance it up, but I got a couple of old giant spikes, 8-footers that I can ram into the bottom of the lake and tie to the dock, and that dock will not move. So getting them out in the winter, is pretty hard. So it's worth putting them in because a lot of those fucking, what do you call it, boats? Excuse my language. The wake boats. They come so close to the dock and they blow a huge. The boats are half upside down. Can you stay out in the middle, please? No. They love where the glassy water is. I go
exactly. They love the coves. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And they get right out in front of my house. And Lord Almighty.
Yeah, we were up last summer at my brother-in-law's family's lake house, my sister-in-law's family lake house, and they're the same thing. They're in a little cove, and man, oh man, towards the end of the day, the water skiers come flying through there.
Yeah, they when that sun's starting to get ready to set is when they want to ski.
Yep, first light or last light. That's it.
Yeah. And I don't mind the skiers, but because they're all slalom skiing, they're not blowing a big wake. It's those wake boats,
right?
And Jimmy Miller has one. Apparently, you put a ton of water into the boat to sink it down low, and they can surf on those things. Guys are surfing on it.
Oh,
they're not even holding on. They're just regular surfers. It's kind of crazy. But I got to get up and do it. This is a good week to do it. And I told David, he thinks I'm nuts, but I'll probably watch the Norfolk game tonight just to see who we're playing. Yeah. Pretty sad, Mark, but it's my reality.
Hey, you know what? I play golf. You watch the Everblades. You got to have a hobby.
I play both. I play golf too.
Yeah, but when's the last time you touched a club?
I told you. I hurt my hip 3 weeks ago, and I have not been out on the course since. And I went over to the range and started swinging. It still bothers me.
That stinks.
And I've been to the orthopedic guys, and they take all the x-rays. He said, it's not your hip. But I said, man, it's just right in there. And he says it's a bursa sac exploded. Jimmy thinks it's a torn labrum. So anyway, Dr. Miller, who's had both hips replaced.
Right.
And he had one done twice. So that's 3 hips.
Oof.
Wow. Him and my wife could talk.
Yeah.
They each had 3 hip replacements.
And mine sure feels like that's where it's headed. But I'm really I don't want to get on a plane, which I'm thinking I'll just jump on one tomorrow and fly up and do all that stuff and come back when they're home. But I don't feel like if I do something screwy by playing golf for 18 holes and now I can't sit on the plane,
right.
That'll be not good. You know what's the weirdest thing about this? You guys might be better doctors than me. This does not hurt at all when I'm walking around. I absolutely cannot sleep with it. And when I try to swing a golf club, which is the day I heard it. So I got to get it solved, but I'm going to go. I like the doctor down here. But I can go to Stephen Nicholas, my old team doctor, when I get back. And he is right on the way to the lake house. I'll go right past his office and go in and see him.
Here we go.
Oh, let's talk about who's doing those Christmas Day games. I'm only kidding.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. More with Pat Kirwan talking the NFL. We've actually had 2 developing stories during our first segment. The schedule release, the leaking of it will slowly continue. It'll really go crazy tomorrow throughout the day before the official release of the schedule tomorrow night. But I guess it's already been announced, Pat, and I'm guessing this will be your guys' game. It'll be Bengals at Chiefs week 2. So that means that Kansas City's starting with 2 home games, but they're starting with the Ravens and the Bengals, but they're starting with 2 home games.
Well, I'll take that a step further. I'll give it the perspective of a non-Chiefs fan. I got one yesterday. He didn't stop. It also means that the tackles will be holding for Kansas City for 2 straight weeks. They don't call holding on those tackles. Ever.
No, they do not. There's evidence of that in the playoffs the last 2 years. That is for sure. And also Valdez-Scantling, apparently he had visited a few teams, including the Bills yesterday. It came out in the last 15 minutes. He is signing with the Bills.
Good for the Bills. I'm in the middle of doing safeties, and they need help at safety. They are in trouble there. And I have not graded any team lower than them. If you look at their safety population, they like to keep 4. They got rid of Micah Hyde and Poyer. Those guys had almost 1,800 plays and a ton of production. And now they really don't even have a third or fourth guy that could play if someone gets hurt. So I'm looking for them to sign. And his safeties, I like a lot of the safeties still on the list. We talked about this before. Diggs and Simmons are out there. Gibson's out there. Adams, Hyde returned. But I'm just doing the AFC East yesterday. 3 of the 4 teams are not ready for the season with their safety population. So I expect a bunch of signings coming up pretty quick. Hey, before we go, I'm going to put you on record, David. By the end of 2025, will we have 10 quarterbacks that are making $50 million or more?
Before the end of 25?
Yeah, I'll give you the rest of this year and next season.
Well, we have 5 currently.
Yeah.
And we've got the 3 that we talked about, Dak and Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love. Now, does this also count when they renegotiate Mahomes and Josh Allen?
Well, then I'll make the number 12.
Well, no. I asked a question.
No.
Then if you're keeping it at 10, I'll include the renegotiation on Mahomes and Allen and say we'll have 10 or 11. If you go to 12, I'll go lower.
Yeah, you love the over-under game. So that's the end of the world for the $40 million quarterback. Who will ever sign again who's a starter for 30-something million? None of them.
How good is that contract for the Bucs then with Baker? With what they got Baker to sign for, how good is that contract for Tampa Bay?
It's great if he plays like he did last year, but we know who Baker is. I love Baker, but he's a competitive, tough guy who has got the only contract he deserved, and that was his best year. But he doesn't have the leverage to get a $45-50 million deal. Now, if he blows it up for the next 2 years and gets to the last year of that deal, and by then we have 12 guys making 50, he might be a $50 million guy, which is almost hard to comprehend, but he's got to do it for 2 years more and win a couple of games and all that business. But they love him down there, and I know the head coach loves him, and so he's got a chance. So what has happened is the knock on the door of opportunity for him, and I commend him for reinventing his career.
By the way, another schedule release in the last couple of minutes. The Niners just announced they're hosting the Jets on the first Monday Night Football game.
Mr. Rogers, if he can make it that far.
I don't know if you even play him in the preseason, Pat.
I would never play him in the preseason. Just tell him to work on the game plans because he's also the coordinator.
Yes, he is.
Are you interested in John Parry? Like, to me, I got to ask this. Oh, isn't this great? I think it's smart, but what is he really doing?
Well, I know John very well. I've gotten to know him very well in 2 years.
He's a great guy and smart.
He is, and he's very good at what he does, I thought. And he got the least amount of airtime without revealing the personal conversations that we had. I think the travel, I think the amount of time that he was away from his family just, it bothered him. And I think he just would like he can drive. Half the year he lives in Ohio. The other half of the year he lives in Southwest Florida. And I think John, it's like 3 hours to drive to the Bills, and he just has to be there on game day. And then that's it. And he can drive home.
Yeah, that part I get. And it's fun for him and easy. But what is the club getting out of it? I challenge that call.
Yeah, it's interesting that, apparently they reached out to him and they want him as an advisory role. But wait a minute. Didn't we have, Mark, the local official who did work with the Buccaneers when Bruce Arians took over in Tampa? They hired an official who was based out of Southwest Florida, a former NFL ref. And he was, when they won the Super Bowl, I think he got a ring. Okay,
well,
he worked with the team.
I had one too, and Tony Viteri was with us the whole time I was there, and he was there every day. But I think it's wonderful, but I can't figure out where his impact's going to be. He's going to do what? Challenge that call? God bless him. He's going to have a nice time. I don't see the big role that becomes, the job. Now, if he's there, only has to be there on Sundays, great. Is he going to be at practice? Is he going to talk to them about infractions during practice. We used to make Viteri do that and throw the flag on guys every day. But I don't know. I'm kind of happy for John. I really like I love when he comes on our show because he will tell it like it is.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. I will say, because I've asked him, is this going to make him more or less likely to come on? I think because he's employed with the team, I don't know if we're going to be able to interview him anymore. Now, maybe your NFL radio, it might be different for you. But,
just a little bit. I don't know if you've heard their guest list.
Mark, send me your questions. I'll ask you a question. Finally, just things that intrigue me. How do you think Brady's going to do doing games? I've had some mixed opinions from people.
If he lets it rip, and all I mean, you get paid the $30 million to have the roast and let it rip. If he lets it rip G-rated, he can be great.
Yep. And I hope he is. And I hope he sees it that way and understands it. Are they going to postpone David ownership while he's doing this?
Well, it's funny that, apparently the only roadblock is that he was trying to get his percentage on the cheap, and Mark Davis was willing to do it. And the NFL went, oh, no. We don't give out any percentages for less than market value. No. So apparently Tom's got to come up with more money, but I'm hearing that's the only obstacle to him becoming the 1% owner or whatever he's going to be of the Raiders, which I find shocking. Knowing how paranoid NFL teams are, I'm curious, the first team that literally will not do a production meeting with Brady and the crew at Fox if he becomes an owner of the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's why I brought it up. The conflicts seem to be clear. And, I don't know. I don't know how that happens. I think they're going to push it off until they figure out if he's going to stay in the booth.
I mean, think about it, Mark. If I was a 1% owner, okay, do you want me? Announcers talk to players all the time. They go on the field 2 hours before the game. They talk to quarterbacks. They talk to coaches. Think of all the information that you and I talk about off air. That's what information we get. Never mind the information Tom Brady would get.
Yeah, it's a complete conflict of interest. I mean, it's as simple as that. There's no way you can let a broadcaster in production meetings while he owns another team. It doesn't work.
No, and they go to the walkthrough on Saturdays. I mean, we always had guys there. And I remember Parcells was there because he was covering us. And 6 months later, he's the head coach of the Patriots, taking our practice squad guys that he watched practice.
Pat Kirwan, moving the chains weekday afternoons on NFL Radio. Pat, as always, thanks for joining us, courtesy of Pinchers.
Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Are you looking to make this Mother's Day unforgettable? Jason and Todd with the Diamond District are excited to help. This year, she'll get the ice and you'll get the cooler. A premium Yeti cooler valued at $300. With their stunning selection of fine diamond jewelry and exotic gemstone jewelry, you'll be sure to find the perfect gift that will help make this Mother's Day special. And with your purchase of $1,800 or more, you'll receive a free premium Yeti cooler valued at $300. Whether you're already part of the Diamond District family or will be meeting them for the first time, you'll fall in love quickly with their selection, quality, value, and experienced non-commissioned team. Jason and Todd are in the store nearly every day and are excited to hand you a premium Yeti cooler when she gets the ice. Visit Jason and Todd with the Diamond District this Mother's Day week from the 8th through the 12th to receive your Yeti cooler with a purchase of $1,800 or more. Jason and Todd look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to the Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Apparently, Red Lobster just closed 50
Yeah.
stores.
Saw that. Will anyone notice?
I don't know. Can't remember the last time I went.
I've been to the Red Lobster once in my life. My grandmother took me in Saginaw.
I will say their biscuits were great.
Everybody loved the biscuits.
Yes. So was one of the places Tiger went Red Lobster? I thought it was Perkins.
I go to Joe's Fresh Catch in Coconut Point for fish. That's my spot to get it as far as to take it home. Bob's on. Bob is on.
Here we go.
All right.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. He has been so good to us over the years. He's Bob Harig, covering golf for Sports Illustrated, author of Drive, The Lasting Legacy of Tiger Woods. It would be a great Father's Day gift. Drive, The Lasting Legacy of Tiger Woods, although we think there's going to have to be an addition a couple years down the road to however this whole PGA Tour and LIV thing ends up. Bob, it's David and Mark. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Bob broke the story of Schefter Babygate. All right. He had it over the weekend first. In fact, the baby has in fact been born. Bob, before we get to the PGA, sorry to have to do this. Pretty eventful last half dozen days off the field in golf. Rory, and you were there, you were asking him the questions, disclosing that, yeah, I'm not wanted back on the PGA Tour board. And then Monahan's right-hand guy, Jimmy Dunn, resigning from that board yesterday. This seems pretty big.
Yeah, it does. And I don't really know what it all means, except that I don't think the path is real clear right now. I think that's pretty fair to say, because there's so many conflicting viewpoints. You've got Rory, who sort of wanted to be back on the board because he didn't like the way it was going, and there was resistance to that. So the guy who wanted him back on the board, Webb Simpson, recognizing that Roy not wanting to getting back on, he decides to stay because he probably wants to represent Rory's views. That's Webb Simpson. Then we find out that there's this subcommittee that's going to negotiate directly with the PIF. And the way it first was presented was Tiger was the only player on that committee. So the next day, that's Thursday at Quail Hollow last week, after his round, it's some of this stuff gets a little bit, they're there to play golf, right? And so then, okay, it's a little bit awkward. Okay, hey, Rory, did understand that there's this committee now and Tiger's the only player on it? Oh, well, actually, I'm on that committee too. Oh, really? Okay. And so is Adam Scott. So then now you've got this new twist. And then later that night, the PGA Tour puts out a statement confirming that that's all true. I'm like, why didn't you tell us this yesterday? And so then on Sunday, I got to talk to Adam Scott with another colleague, and we brought up to him, it seems like there's a division on the board amongst the players. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true at all. Okay, so you're saying you're all in unity. Then the next day, one of the prominent board guys, the guy who first reached out to Yasser, Jimmy Dunn, resigns. Something doesn't go together all there. And, it's unfortunate that this occurred this week, but I think it's telling. Like, Jimmy Dunn drops this now. He knows it's the major championship this week. He knows all these guys are here. So who's going to get asked about it today? Tiger, of course. He's coming in today. Jordan's coming in today. He's on the board. Those guys are going to get asked about this, and here we are. It's the week of a major, and yet we're talking about this, which, it's understandable that we would. It's a huge issue in the game right now.
Bob, is there a power struggle going on, or did Tiger win the power?
I don't know. I mean, the fact that Rory and Adam are still on this negotiating committee that's supposed to talk to them directly, and that Jay is on that committee too, I don't know that Tiger did win it. Cantlay is not on that. Cantlay is said to be one of the guys who's been, against making a deal, a hard line. Now, he's not expressed that publicly. He's been very reluctant to talk publicly about any of this stuff. But, there's there's enough where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been enough smoke around that to think that there's something to it. And if there's not, he could come out and deny it. So to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure where Tiger is on all this. I think Tiger's very much about protecting the PGA Tour and not wanting the PGA Tour to be diminished. But on the other side of this, are you going to look the other way at, billions of dollars that could be invested in the game or competing against that billions of dollars? That's sort of where we are right now. I mean, even Brandel Chambly's come around on this. Brandel's been very, very anti-live, outspoken on Golf Channel. And look, his views are completely fine to have. There's a lot of people that do not like this because of the moral and political implications of doing business with the Saudis. But even he has come around to the idea that you almost have no choice.
He's Bob Harig. He covers golf for Sports Illustrated. He is live from the PGA Championship at Valhalla. All right. It's unusual, maybe precedent setting, that you can have 3 elite players all entering a major off a win. But obviously, since we have 2 tours right now, LIV and the PGA Tour, Koepka coming in off a win, defending champion. Scheffler, best player in the world right now, coming in off a win. And Rory, back-to-back wins. I mean, Bob, if everybody shows up with this A game, this will be awesome.
Yeah, it sure will. It would be great. It'd be great if they all played well. There's 2 ways to look at Scotty. Is he a little rusty? Is he a little distracted? Wife just had a baby. Or maybe that distraction's been good. It took his mind off of things for a little while. He's playing a very, very high level. To be in contention for 5 straight tournaments and to win 4 of them is stressful. Now he's had a few weeks where he hasn't played. I'm sure he's played at home. Those were the reports. And it might very well be good for him. A family thing like this is a great boost, So, and obviously Roy's coming off a win. Roy likes playing going in. Koepka, much needed good result after a very poor Masters for him that had him very upset. I actually, wrote about him earlier this week, how, that was a shock to the system. He was not expecting that. And he was very, very motivated to get things turned around. So, I have a feeling he's going to be in pretty good form here this week. But, I always temper any of this stuff. The PGA is probably the most wide open of the majors because it really does have the best field. When you take out the club pros, who, look, they're great players too, but if you take them out, you really have 130 tour pros playing. Whereas in the Masters, obviously it's a smaller field to begin with. The U.S. Open and the Open have a bunch of guys who qualify. Some of them are amateurs. There's no amateurs in the PGA field. Some of them are guys who, they're really good players on mini tours, but they're not they're not on a tour. So that kind of takes them out of it in theory. Not here. There's 100 guys who could win. It's why you had somebody like Bob May all those years ago step up and challenge Tiger. It's why he lost to Rich Beam and to Y.E. Yang at the PGA, because they're great players. They're just not elite. And there's more great players in this major than the others.
What's it going to take for Xander Schauffele to win? He's playing great golf. We've kind of compared him to Matt Kuchar, that he cashes a lot of checks but doesn't get the W. What's it going to take for Xander to get a W this week?
Yeah, I'm willing to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt in that, he made a coaching change at the start of the year. And I just think that under the gun, that's probably not comfortable yet. He's had some shaky final rounds. Mm-hmm. He's been in the last group 4 times this year. And, he tied for second at the Players, and he was right there, again last week. It was probably going to be hard to beat Rory shooting what he shot. But the fact that, they were what, with 8 holes to go, they were right there. And then Roy pulled away and Xander couldn't match it. And, I sort of want to give that one more to Rory because he was really good. But, Xander was going to need to shoot under par, and he didn't. And I just think that it's not quite there, but yet look at the consistency. He still manages to be fourth in the world, not having won for 22 months. That means those wins are kind of coming off his ledger. And yet to stay fourth in the world means that you've had to be up there a lot. And, hopefully for his sake, this is gonna pay off for him because it's got to be getting frustrating that he's not racking up these wins.
In the next tier, Homa, yet to win a major, has been playing better in the majors. Justin Thomas has won this championship before. He's had some moments this year. I'm just curious, is there somebody that you like who's not the obvious?
Yeah, somebody like a Terrell Hatton from Liv, who, we're not talking much about because we don't see him as much. Heck of a player, I think that there's a guy, this is more like a tour event than the other majors. And he's an excellent tour player. I think he's the type of guy. I think you're going to see somebody that's maybe been a little under the radar this year, who's had a good season, like a Pendrith who just won, or somebody like that. You're going to see somebody up there, I think, not necessarily win, but you're going to see somebody up there who's probably, a solid tour player, but not a prolific winner. Yeah, I just think it's the nature of the tournament.
Bob, when you say it's more like a tour event, what do you mean by that? Is it easier for the players, more familiar for the players? When you say it's more like a tour event, what are you getting at there?
I think it's more like a tour event, and it's more the same faces. It's also the courses. Now, look, it's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be the U.S. Open either. The PGA is sometimes the U.S. Open light. I don't think Valhalla is going to be an easy test, but I also think, the winning score is going to be 10, 12 under. That's what it was last week. Roy kind of pulled away, but it's not as demanding and as exact, and especially since we've had some rain here. We're supposed to get a good amount of rain today. It's going to be softer. That usually makes scoring a little bit easier. So when you add in the way they set up the course, which won't be easy, it'll be very fair. It'll be tough, but it's not like overly restrictive. It's not like chip out rough necessarily. It's not going to be firm, rock hard greens. And then you have more players. You have over 100 tour players basically in the field, guys who are doing this every single week for a living. I just think it means that there's more chances for those guys to step up.
Think Spieth's ever going to be a lead again?
It's funny. I was just mentioning with the colleague this morning, we're not even talking about it, but Jordan Spieth can complete the career Grand Slam,
right,
wins this tournament. And, he's still an elite player. He's like 20th or 22nd in the world, but yet he's only won twice since he last won a major in 2017. So that's 7 years. He's won twice. It's amazing how fast he started between 2013 and 17. Got to 11 wins that quick, and now he's got 13. Now he's gone like another 2 years basically without winning. Sometimes the windows are small. He's also got a wrist injury that, frankly, hearing him talk about it, I think he needs to rest it. He says he can manage it, but that's a tough thing when you're playing golf and your wrist is bothering you, and it just makes you wonder if that's a big part of the inconsistency that we keep seeing from him.
Bob Harig, Sports Illustrated, author of Drive, The Lasting Legacy of Tiger Woods, would make a great Father's Day gift. Order one. You can follow Bob on X at Bob Harig, Harig. Bob, thanks for making time for us. Stay dry. Have a great week at Valhalla.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much for having me. Have a great day.
Bob Harig, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton. We'll make picks tomorrow, maybe Thursday morning. Can we wait? I mean, if technically, 20 guys have teed off, can we still make our picks
I think we can do it before. We can do it early in the show.
on Thursday?
Yeah, maybe the second segment of the show, the 6:20 segment.
That early?
Well, they can't do it after they've gone off.
Oh, come on. The club pros tee off early. I mean, we can do it when when Bill Britton from Long Island is teeing off, we can make our picks. Right before the play of the day, maybe on Thursday.
You know what? We get an hour, don't we? Because it's Central Time.
Yes.
Right.
So I'll grant you the hour.
Thanks.
If it were in the Eastern Time Zone, no way. But Central Time Zone, I suppose we can make that work. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for listening. The bonus hour is next.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So I'm driving around yesterday. I had DAE on again. Now I'm listening to the first pitch or whatever, the pregame show right into the ball game. I love listening to Free do Rays games.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So San Francisco to start your year, or Santa Clara.
And that's after our second college football game because, unlike when we did SEC, we didn't do many games before week 3, but we're doing games right out of the chute. We did last year too. And so I pretty much know my first 7 weeks. And I know my last 3.
For Saturday.
Yeah.
Any trips to East Lansing?
I don't think so for this reason. The expectation is they're going to be bad.
Oh, yeah.
But if I had to bet right now, I think we're going to do Michigan State, Michigan.
Is it in Ann Arbor?
No. Yeah, yes, it is. Now, Penn State, Wisconsin is opposite that. And, we could end up doing, like I've got from mid-October to late November, I've got either or. I've got 2 because, it's 3 and don't quite know what you're going to get. And everything's a 12-day pick. But I'm pretty sure of November 30th, which is Ohio State, Michigan weekend, and Fox will always have that.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the 4th and final hour of Miller and Moulton, or as we call it, the bonus hour for the 239 and the 904. Thanks so much for being with us, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Our third wheel, Trent, has been very quiet today. I think the grind of the playoffs, having to stay up for those late games, I think even for a 24-year-old, it can be grueling. I'm sensing the grind of the playoff, Mark, that he's that hockey team that got off to a good start. The goalie was playing really well. Now, not so much.
With you. Life will always catch up with you. I am very tired. But, when you love what you do, that doesn't suck. So
that is true.
Always good to be here.
See what you did. When he was growing up, did he think OKC Dallas would make him feel this way? All right.
No. The answer is no.
More NFL scheduling news being released. The first Monday Night Football game of the year has been released. It'll be Jets at Niners.
Over under on Aaron Rodgers plays in that game are 7.5.
Wow, we're starting early, Ed, aren't we? That's pretty snarky.
A little bit. It's really snarky.
Here's the irony. The guy that tackled him played for the Bills, obviously, last year. He now plays for the Niners. Just saying. I'm just saying. That's all.
A few good pass rushers on this Niners team, too.
Yeah, Leonard Floyd, just saying. Okay. All right. Just continue what you're doing. That's
So the
all.
leaks will start coming.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a handful already. We've got the Chiefs and the Ravens to start the season.
And now that Monday Night Football's made their announcement, And these are coordinated, quote, leaks. So CBS and NBC will, one maybe later today, will one wait till the early morning tomorrow before the schedule release tomorrow night? When does Amazon, there's a report out there. I can't get confirmation about Amazon's first Thursday night game. So
I also saw a report that Amazon still trying, like the Netflix on Christmas is not a done deal yet. And Amazon is still trying to get those Christmas Day games.
Well, I wonder if part of it is who are they going to have do them? Oh, so you're saying Amazon's trying to keep them off Netflix?
Correct. Something I read this morning. So, that we'd heard Netflix, but
yeah, you know how the NFL feels. The NFL, they want as many broadcast entities as possible.
This is a big party, David. This is not a limited field event. We want a big party. This is not the Belmont. This is the Derby. We want 20 of these horses in there. We don't want 6 or 7.
Yeah, Roger Goodell's on the line with Amazon going, guys, we already got your $1 billion for Thursday nights. Okay, that's enough. We're going to get 150 million from Netflix here just to do 2 games on Christmas on a Wednesday. Relax, it's fine. So tomorrow night, the schedule's released. It will slowly leak out. Some of it a coordinated effort, some not so much over the next 30 plus hours.
Trent, do you play the schedule game? Will you get the Lions schedule and go through immediately and do wins and losses?
Probably 5 minutes after it comes out, yes.
Okay. We've only known the young lad for 6.5 months. I can only imagine what the Lions' one-loss record was when they were bad. And be honest now. You've got to be honest. How many times did a bad Lions team, when you played the schedule game in April or May, you had them winning 10 or 11 games?
Yeah, I was never close. I was always way too
Right.
I always took the over. I will say 2 years ago, when they weren't supposed to be that good, I picked them to go 10-7. They went 9-8, so that wasn't too bad.
That's true. You looked ridiculous when they were 1-6, but at the end of the day, you were right there. You did.
Yes.
Okay. So Mark, look, biggest homer that we know. Honestly, he's just so in the tank for his teams.
Absolutely.
Right. He's drowning. He's so in the tank for his teams. So now that they made it to the NFC Championship game,
first place schedule, all the things that will come with that.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? 15-2?
I was going to set the over under at 13.5 for Trent, or 14.5 of where he would go.
I'm going over. He will literally think, well, we're going to win all these games.
Here's the thing. When you're going through, I don't care who it is, what team it is, you have to figure they'll lose a game they shouldn't lose, and they'll win a game they shouldn't win. With the Lions, most times, you have to factor in 2 of each of those. So we'll take a look later and figure it out.
My favorite, and David and I have both been guilty of this, but we make our season predictions and go through each team's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And the wins add up to more than the losses. So you have to go back in and go,
yes.
Oh, so I have both the Dolphins and the Jets winning the same game in the same week against one another.
Yeah.
I guess we have to change that.
Right. Mark was, early on in our tenure together, Mark said, okay, here's the deal. You can only have one team winning a game every week, and the number of wins has to add up to the number of losses. So figure out, and for the longest time, I think it was 256?
Right.
Okay. And so now I think it's 272. All right. And we made fun of ourselves. We would add up the wins and losses. Okay, we did our thing and what have you. What did it add up to? 279 and 263. Okay, all right. Yeah, we're idiots.
Well, I did something similar before this season, and what you got to do, and I know you guys will never do this, is get all 32 teams on paper, okay? And then you put their schedule on paper, and you start with one team. I always start with the Lions. Green highlighter, red highlighter for, wins, losses.
Why do you need the red highlighter?
Highlighters?
Yes. And then as you
can't put W or L next to them?
Well, you could, but it's all about the visuals. Then you pick the Lions week 1 win or loss, and then you go to that team and make it the opposite. And
How
that
about
way,
this? How about you put W's on the left of the game, L's on the right, or vice
you
versa?
can do that. Whatever tickles your brain, whatever makes sense to you, in order to help expedite the process. And by the time you get to team 32, everything's filled in.
David, some of us need highlighters to remember. You can read it and take it all in. And, some of us are more visual.
Listen, if I'm sitting, like I'm imagining rooming with Trent right now, and all of a sudden I come home from work and I look, and he's got 32 schedules mapped out with 3 different highlighters. Someone's not living through the night. I'm just saying, it could be me. He could kick my butt. But there's no way there's going to be an international incident. That's all I'm saying. 32 schedules, 3 highlighters. What the hell? Win or loss, let's go. Boom.
The kitchen table is mine for about 2 hours. That's all I ask.
That's all you need is 2 hours? Wow. I'm impressed. Because then if people are that, if you're that, okay, then, I'm thinking you're not just, like I grabbed the highlighter, it's crooked, not everything's covered. I'm guessing you're painstakingly, slowly across each line. Right. Yeah.
Might need 2.5 hours. You're right.
Yeah, I need 45 minutes tops. Just can we roll through this quickly? W's and L's, and let's move on. Which is why I end up with 296 wins and 234 losses, but that's all right.
I need 32 different color Sharpies. I need the highlighters. I need a straight edge. I need everything to be.
So you don't print the schedules out? Do you write the schedules out?
I physically write them out. I got it. It helps me so much more if I write it out. David's losing it.
I don't know if he wants to kill you or hug you right now. I'm not sure which one it is.
I nicknamed myself a goober. All right, you may be more goober than me. And I haven't met too many people who could out-goober me. Okay, I haven't met too many people who can out-eat me. Haven't met too many people who can out-goober me. I know you can't out-eat me, but wow.
He couldn't David, you and I consume more in a day than he does in 3.
That's probably true.
Listen, do you know the last time I weighed what he weighs right now? I think was 9th grade. That's not a joke.
No,
no, it's not a joke. Mm-hmm.
You got to remember too, though, when I was doing this, it was when I had a part-time dumb job in Nashville. So I had a lot of time on my hands.
What do you have now? A part-time dumb job. You got a lot of time on your hands.
You're done at 10:30, 11 in the morning. What the heck? What are you doing all day? You have no money. Man, what are you doing? Obviously, he's doing schedules. That's what he's doing. He's sitting around doing the schedule game.
This job is so much better than what I was doing in Nashville. Oh, man. Wouldn't go back.
32 schedules he writes out.
I know. By hand.
Right.
Multiple, a straight edge. He said I did straight edge.
I had to have a straight edge and highlighters.
By the way.
And Sharpies.
How about just paper that's lined? You don't need the edge. Make it easier on yourself.
I got to have the card stock. So it's, wow. I mean, I'm sure they make it. I could go to Office Depot and find it, but
wow.
It's got to be all lined up. The columns.
He did this for the Lions.
And every other team.
Right. Unbelievable.
I will say, when I do the Packers and the Cowboys, I don't really care about the neatness. I just get it down.
Do the Packers ever have a winning record when you do this?
No.
Oh, yeah. I gave them a winning record last year. Yeah.
Wow. That's
picked them to go 9-8 last year.
Has a woman ever seen
a woman not named your mother?
Correct. Has a woman ever seen your schedule material?
No. Shocker. No.
So obviously he's never been serious with anybody. if he hasn't shown, if she doesn't go, what are you doing over there? What you got going on over there?
I don't know how you answer that question to a significant other. What are you doing over there? I'm writing down the schedules for 32 NFL teams so I can predict what their wins and losses are. I mean, if you get that out and she doesn't leave, go to the Diamond District and put a ring on her finger immediately.
Honey, could you help me out week 11? Titans at Jags. What do you think?
That's the litmus test. That's how you know if they really love you. Spoiler alert, I haven't found that person yet.
I was going to say, they've all run for the door. Run for the door. Either that or the utensils, and they're ready to stab you in the neck. Miller and Moulton.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right. Are you buying into this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight at all, David?
Mm-mm.
You think it's just a show? You don't think they're really fighting?
Oh, no, I think they'll really fight. I just don't have any interest.
Jake Paul's a favorite.
Well, I mean, isn't he half of Tyson's age? Or
I know one was the heavyweight champ of the world.
I know.
I don't know if I have restless leg syndrome or what, but I cannot stop moving my legs for the last like 3 hours. I don't know. Maybe it's the caffeine.
It's all the energy drinks that you've had in your young life.
Catching up to me. I had one like 10 hours ago. Having another one right now.
I thought it was. I do not think it's an exhibition. I think it's an actual pro fight, Axe. I thought that was announced last week, but I could be mistaken.
Okay, I'm looking at it right now. I actually had the Packers at 5-12 last season. 5-12. They made the playoffs and won a playoff game. Nailed it. David had your Giants at 7-10.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I had them at too. So when is that quote fight?
July 20th.
Okay. Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut tonight, 7:30 ESPN2. You watching? Come on now. Many of you watched her at Iowa. I mean, yes or no? Our poll question, you going to watch? Yes, every second. Nah, I'll check it out. No. WNBA. I don't watch the WNBA. 53% are not watching. About a third of the audience is going to check it out. Now 1/7 of the audience is like, oh yeah, I'm all in. Okay.
Think about that, though, David. The fact that 47% of our audience says they're going to watch a part of a WNBA game.
Right.
If we would have asked this question at any point in the history of the WNBA, because you and I have been doing a show about as long as that league's been around, one, we'd have been laughed off the air most every time we asked the question in any one of those years. Two, there wouldn't have been 10% of the audience that would have said, yes, they're watching. Not for anybody. Not for one player so far that's entered that league. Pretty remarkable.
Agreed. Now going up against both the NBA and NHL playoffs tonight also.
And that's the only thing that's a hindrance for me to watch more, because I'm going to check it out, but I'll be watching a little hockey and a little hoop.
Hockey on ESPN, hoop on TNT. By the way, the word is TNT's lost the NBA. Hasn't been announced, but the word is they've lost it. It's going to be NBC, it's going to be Amazon, and it's going to be ABC ESPN. ABC ESPN will keep getting the finals. I guess NBC is going to get most of the other conference finals. And Amazon actually paying the most. They're paying $2.6 billion reportedly a year for whatever the NBA they're going to get. Ironically, ABC ESPN's paying the least, which is exactly the opposite of how the NFL deal works. ABC pays the most.
And they pay the most for arguably the least.
Hey, I mean, you could argue, I think they have a better schedule than Thursday Night Football, and that is one of the things. I mean, they spent the money on the broadcast booth. The NFL was not happy with the broadcast booth. Well, they brought Joe and Troy in. And ABC, ESPN also pays to be able to run and use NFL footage on all their talking head shows. But their check is the biggest. It's bigger than Fox, CBS, and NBC. By $500 million a year, it's the biggest. Fox second biggest, CBS about 100 million less, NBC 100 million less than that. But anyway. So yeah, that's our poll question. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. And I guess if you go to millerandmoulton.com, like to download what you missed on this show, like David Samson, Pat Kirwan, and Bob Harig, it appears. So there.
We talked with David Samson earlier about the NBA deal, where baseball lies in this whole TV rights, and he's pessimistic for baseball, not optimistic of where they are with their future rights.
Well, the word is ESPN's opting out. And they're going to opt out, and there's a debate. Are they going to get out of baseball altogether, or are they opting out as a business decision because they're going to try to not pay any more money but get more? Basically argue to Major League Baseball, you need us more than we need you. They've already renegotiated down once. They were paying $700 million a year for baseball last decade. This new deal that they're on, they're paying like $550. And so they paid less money, aired less games, but they got wild card games. So we'll see what ESPN does with baseball going forward. Are they just going to want to pay less for the current package, or are they also going to want to pay less but get more? Fox is signed through 2028. They're good with it.
Do you think Turner will jump into baseball more now that they've lost the NBA?
Yeah, I do. They have a Tuesday night TBS package. That's the only thing Turner has right now. Listen, we talked about this. Do you need TNT if they lose the NBA? How many of you, that's the only thing you watch on TNT? Yeah, okay, the NCAA tournament, there's 6 days a year for that. But how many people watch TNT if not for NBA or just Chuck and Shaq and the boys? And that's what you watch more than anything else, because that shows, I mean, if Ernie Johnson sticks with the I'm not leaving Turner, then they got next year.
For the last 10 years, maybe a little more, that show has been synonymous with the NBA in general. I mean,
it's more popular than their games.
That is what my generation grew up with. That's how we learned what was going on around the league. You watch Chuck, Ernie, Shaq, and Kenny. This sucks.
Listen, if I'm NBC, literally, I put a blank piece of paper in front of all four of them. I'll give you a raise from your current deal. Chuck's apparently making 8 figures a year. Chuck's making over $10 million a year. And when you go, whoa, that's a lot of money, ask yourself this question. You going to watch that show if he ain't on it? I mean, he does say things no one else says. He can get away with a few things that no one else can get away with either. Like, the Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards comparisons 2 nights ago when he said, can we stop this now? There's only one thing they both have in common. And Shaq goes, what's that? And Chuck goes, they're both black. Now, you don't hear that many other places. That Barstool goes, wow, that's edgy.
It's awesome. And that's the kind of content that people love. That's why that show has done so well for years.
And I think, I might be in the minority. I think their NHL show is trying to emulate that, and they do a good job.
Well, and it's far superior. Once again, man, ESPN get a pregame. It's too produced. I don't know why they haven't learned. It's too produced. Okay. The reason those shows work is that basically you just kind of escort the right group into the ring, and you just need a ringleader to go, guys, the round is up. We need to take a break. That's it. That's why those shows work.
This show has a little bit of that, I think, with you guys.
Well, if sports talk radio doesn't have that, I don't know how it can survive as a show.
You mean we're not produced?
I just told on myself.
Holy cow. Breaking news.
Wait, what?
No, but you guys have that charm, that like
Yeah, sure.
conversational
charm.
the snark.
That's what he calls it.
Right now he calls it charm.
Calls it charm. That's because, you know,
When he's talking to his dad back home after the show, those
Right.
two a-holes.
Exactly. Right. When he's on the phone with his dad, he's like giving commentary like Barkley. Okay. He's on the show with us. He's like Kenny Smith. Okay. Very, very vanilla. So that show's going to have next year. And then as of now, then, maybe they'll get back together again.
But the money is coming in for the NBA, and it came in a big way with this new TV deal. And as you mentioned to open the show, David, I know it's a long ways away, but by the time the NFL deals are up, what can't they ask for?
I mean, the NBA is about to increase their TV revenue a year from now by 250%. They're going to be getting almost $7 billion a year from 3 television networks. That's the NBA. The NFL is getting about 13.5 to 14 billion a year now. What are they going to ask for in 6 to 8 years when their deal is up? Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when it is all coming up next in the Diamond District bonus hour.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So apparently the Tigers scoreboard operator is trying to appeal to the younger crowd, and he's putting up like shots at the other players when they're up to bat, like opposing teams' guys, whatever. When Brian De La Cruz was at the at the plate last night for the Marlins. They put up player note. Only 2 actual Marlins fans like this guy. They put that on the scoreboard in the Comerica Park.
It's not bad, David. I don't know if you follow the Blades on X, the Everblades.
Yeah.
But they're social, like they spelled out Orlando with all L's.
Yes.
After the series. I thought that was really good.
They did it gradually too, actually. They
each
for the first one
right.
it was capital L, then 2 L's.
And then when they knocked him out, it was about 10.
Overkill.
I do think it's really funny that you thought you texted me back because I was yesterday going, well, he finally got me back.
Oh God,
I heard from our fearless leader today.
You did?
Yes, I'll fill you in shortly.
Huh.
And he did say, he's like, I'm on vacation. I can't really.
Yeah. I had to get the whole text thing done yesterday.
That is so frustrating.
But I got it fixed.
Yeah, you did. Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the top of the hour, 16 until we're done talking. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Seth Everett, amongst those that will join us on the show tomorrow. We'll go live to Valhalla once again. Our PGA Championship previews continue. And we'll have more schedule releases between today and tomorrow. Getting ready for the official schedule release tomorrow night.
Now, do you, when the schedule's done, because you don't know your Saturday schedule, but will you start working with the folks at ESPN and start booking travel the minute the Monday night schedule's out?
Thursday after our show, I will book my travel for the year. Yeah. They want you to do it online. I don't do it online. Because they say, or you can call, and I call. I talk to someone. And I literally, when they answer, and I go, this is going to take 40 minutes to an hour. I go, do you have the time? Do you need to get something to eat? Do you need to refresh your coffee? I do. I say this to the person.
That's considerate.
I identify myself, and I go, this is going to take 40 minutes to an hour. I go, I'm going to do my whole year. I go, so I just want you to, And if I call right after the show, like last year, the person said to me, they go, well, this will be good. I'll do what you need, and then I'll take lunch. I go, sounds perfect. So that's what I'm hoping to do again. Yeah.
I was curious. I genuinely was.
Yep.
For those that don't know, David works with Monday Night Football, part of the broadcast crew. If you don't know that by now, where the hell have you been? But new people are jumping on. So I was just curious when you book your travel.
Now, it was easier in past years because since we had the SEC and CBS had the first choice when the SEC schedule came out, and the SEC releases their schedule a year in advance. So pretty much when the season ends, I mean, you know who's going to be good, and you look at the games and you go, well, we're probably going to be here. We're going to be here. You take into account you can only air a team 5 times. Well, now it's the Big Ten. There's 3 networks: Fox, CBS, NBC. Also, Fox has more first choices than the other 2 networks. Fox gets to pick the first 3 games of the season. I mean, the whole schedule's out there. Fox gets to go, we'll take that one, we'll take that one, we'll take that one. Okay, let the others in the room.
Well, really 2. They take Michigan, Ohio State, and 2 more.
Correct. That's in the contract. They get that game every year. Yes. And for those that don't know, Fox owns the Big Ten Network, and they're the number 1 network of the conference. Right? To give you an idea how much power Fox has, the old Big Ten commissioner was in Europe on vacation when the announcement was made that USC and UCLA would be joining the Big Ten. Why? That's when Fox got done with the negotiations. Kevin Warren was in Europe, and they said, hey, just so you know, we're adding USC and UCLA. He said, to what? I go, the conference. You're the commissioner. We thought we'd let you know. Shortly after that, he said, maybe I'll take this Bears presidency job. Somebody might listen to me there.
And whether or not they're listening there or not, we don't know yet.
Right.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1787, we start a biggie, David. Delegates gather in Philadelphia to draw up this little document called the Constitution.
Now, we don't always adhere to it, but it's a biggie. We should, but, some people think it's optional.
1804, Lewis and Clark head west. Their expedition to the Pacific began today.
Think about it. They didn't have, the maps on the phone.
No GPS, no Waze. How can you get anywhere without Waze? 1874, the first admission charge of a football game. Harvard against the University of McGill. They're out of Montreal. Harvard would win 3-0.
Hope they didn't charge much.
I just found this to be funny, so I wanted to include it because today in 1906, as the White Sox were raising the pennant raising ceremony, the flagpole broke. Does that not sum up the White Sox in a nutshell?
Boy, that was an omen.
Mickey Mantle hit his 500th today in 1967. He would do so against Baltimore. Stu Miller was the pitcher. In 77, Montreal sweeps Boston. Back-to-back cups for Les Habitants.
On their way to 4.
The Clash would release Combat Rock today in 1982. The final Seinfeld aired today in 1998. And maybe the most important decision ever. It was today in 2018 that the U.S. Supreme Court strikes down federal law banning sports gambling.
It's a big day.
Roy Halladay would have celebrated a birthday today. Tony Perez is 82. George Lucas is 80. Denny Martinez is 69. Mark Zuckerberg is 40. And Gronk is 35. What did I miss, David?
Well, Israel became Israel today in 1948.
Jury's still out on that one.
Things have gone, pretty
really well.
Really smooth. The world, embraced it from the beginning, and nothing to see
and they
here.
Still are.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, there's no anti-Semitism going on. Do you remember Skylab? You wouldn't have remembered. You were like 4. America's first space station, Skylab, was launched today in 73. And Sinatra died today in 98.
Ooh.
Yeah, that one hit me.
Ooh.
Proud Jersey guy that I am. That was a tough one. The only other thing I'd like to throw out there, did you throw out there the first Olympics in America debuted today? Did you know that one? So it was the 3rd Olympic Games of the modern era, and it was the first one held in the U.S., and it was held in St. Louis. And it debuted today in 1904.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
I've got Russell Gomes of South Boston, Virginia.
Hello.
He stopped by the Food Lion to buy some chicken. And he said, you know what else I need? I need a scratcher. So the scratcher earned him $500,000. All because he wanted to stop by the Food Lion and get some chicken. You got to buy more scratchers. For the bad, we go to California, where a California man was ordered by the city to conceal his boat. There is a law that has to have your boat screened on the side and front by a 6-foot-high fence. He thought it was ridiculous, and he was angry at first. So when he put the fence up, he got his neighbor to paint the boat that he has on the fence.
It's awesome. Have you seen the picture?
It's fantastic.
I would donate money to his cause. Whatever it is, to pay for the painting, to pay for the fines, whatever it is. I take up a collection for him. It's so awesome.
Finally, the ugly, we go to Japan, where the East Japan Railroad Company said about 2,700 passengers experienced delays when a snake was spotted on a train.
Snakes on a Train?
Snakes on a Train.
The sequel to Snakes on a Plane?
Exactly.
Let's hope it's better.
The snake was in the 8th car of the 11-car train. All passengers were evacuated so staff could search for the snake. The snake was not located. The train was returned to service after about 15 minutes, but passengers were kept out of the car where the sighting was reported. When it made its last stop, the train was sent to a maintenance center to be thoroughly searched. That's where an employee found an 8-inch snake hiding under the seat in a car.
8 inches?
You got that right, David. They shut down transportation because of an 8-inch snake.
I mean, I hate snakes, and even I'd be like,
that's a worm. That's not a snake.
Really. I've seen more threatening geckos. Leave me alone.
That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, May the 14th, 2024.
Wow. So everybody's playing in baseball today. The Yankees and Twins didn't play yesterday, so they're playing each other tonight in Minneapolis on TBS, by the way, if you're interested. Well, there's 2 afternoon games if you want to bet a few shekels. I don't understand this. The Phillies and Mets are playing a 4-game series. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they're playing at night. Yet they're playing today at 1 o'clock. So it's not the Thursday getaway day that's the afternoon game. It's the Tuesday game?
Right.
There's got to be a reason. I don't know what it is. I'd love to know. I just find it funny. We have a doubleheader.
Yes, we do.
Because Washington and the south side of Chicago got rained out last night. They're going to play 2 today. So obviously, whoever wins game 1, we bet against in game 2. So far this year, 8 doubleheaders, 6 splits, 2 sweeps. Just saying.
It's our system. We can't miss the boat because we're in dire need.
Well, that means I have to redeposit because we had a bad week last week.
So it took us 5 months to lose $50. Is that it?
With the big bets that we're making.
That's pretty good. We were up big at one point too. We did college basketball season. We were rolling in it, but we have sucked since. Man,
We really have.
Since the conference. Once they got to the conference tournaments and what have you, early March, we've been terrible. Don't listen
First
to a
round
word.
tournament games, we didn't do well.
Yeah, don't listen to a word we say. NBA, TNT double dip tonight. A couple of game 5s and series tied at 2. I can, give you that stat, guys. 81% of game 5 winners when the series is tied at 2 go on to win the series. So Indiana at the Knicks tonight.
I like the Pacers.
I love the Pacers.
Knicks.
Of course.
Knicks are a 2.5 point favorite.
Yes, they are.
Which is much lower than they've been. I think game 2, they were 4.5. Game 1, they were like 6.5. But the Knicks, having lost 2 in a row, banged up. Brunson, Hartenstein, they're both going to play. They're both injured. 3 other starters are out. Bogdanovich off the bench is out. Everybody's blaming Thibodeau, by the way.
Why did he get hurt?
No, it's because he doesn't load manage at all. And now everyone's getting hurt. And you can talk all you want about load management and people hate it and it gets on their nerves, but this looks to be, he
know
is
the way he runs his team and he runs them into the ground and all these players like to play the whole game. And I don't know what his choice are. He's got 8 guys.
Okay, here's the thing. So the Clippers did load management. How'd that work with Kawhi? Thank you. Milwaukee, load management. How's that working with Giannis? Embiid and the Sixers. When's he been healthy for the playoffs?
Those are.
Everybody's getting hurt. So play them or don't play them.
I just slightly disagree with that, though, because those players, that's their issue. Like, they're always hurt. They're just injury-prone guys. Like, those guys like that exist.
Giannis?
No, Embiid and Kawhi, specifically. Giannis, no, I got you. It's not a perfect science. There's no perfect way to do it. You know what I mean?
Michael Jordan at 40 played all 82 games. He played 37 minutes a night on average at 40.
Right. Look at what LeBron's doing.
Right. LeBron, who I think led the league in minutes this year.
He did.
At 39. Right. All right. Hockey. Florida wrapping things up with Boston tonight.
Yes.
They're big. They're minus 210. Edmonton's minus 210 at home against Vancouver. They're 1-7 in their last 8 against the Canucks. Their goaltending's horrible. They're minus 210.
I love both home teams in hockey tonight. Love.
7 and 9:30, which means about 7:15 and 9:50 on ESPN. And remember, 7:30 tonight, ESPN2, Caitlin Clark in the WNBA with the Fever against the Sun.
That is our poll question today. Are you going to watch Caitlin Clark tonight? Go to the David Moulton, that Mark Miller, Miller_Moulton on X to vote. We'll have the results in the morning. Seth Everett will join us on the show tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.